Another game to go against another tough customer in Frederick.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it helps when you have another high quality opponent. Helps everybody get focused again. And really for us, we the mantra this year is it's so much about how we're playing, not who we're playing. We're trying to practice the same way and play at the same level every single Friday, regardless of who the opponent is, because we play a bunch of good ones.
What pleased you the most last week throughout that second half? First half too, but definitely that second half when you guys came back from 21 down. Those are one or two guys or moments that really got your juices.
I mean, I think if you look at the game as a whole, I think our effort was good the whole game, and it was just the execution got so much better in the second half, and we stopped making the mistakes that really put us in a hole in the first half. And just the fact that we were able, for such as young as we are, to be able to keep fighting and making plays and getting our way, and not just getting back in the game, but winning the game, I think is huge for us.
You talk about growing up, and they have to grow up as they go along. What do they have to do this week to grow up against a good Frederick team?
I mean, I think it's just continuing to practice hard and practice well, and hopefully some of the jitters are out. We started 5 sophomores, and 9 sophomores total playing the game. This isn't their first game now, and it's time to start playing like a varsity football player.
All right, thanks to Coach Chris Bass for giving us some time this week. Coach Krause, you see the Owls won the toss and deferred, so a little bit of the first gamesmanship sport of the game is right at that coin toss. So the Owls will be kicking off here to start this half. I did talk with Coach Pat Cadden, Frederick's coach, last week. We weren't able to get a video interview together, but he did talk about their speed. It was evident last week in Frederick's win over Middletown. They say you can't coach speed, but what makes it so difficult to defend in your eyes?
Oh, most definitely. I think it's tough when you have athletes that can just stretch the field or make up space. And that's what Frederick has.
Yeah, and it's going to be Frederick's speed against Westminster's size. And Westminster has some speed themselves. We saw quarterback Kyrese Walker really take the offense over in that second half last week. You and I were there against Franklin, and you said don't count them out because of that speed, and it really paid dividends for them.
Oh, without question. I think that Westminster is this is going to be another competitive football game for 2 football teams, I think, tonight.
I think we're getting set for the national anthem down at Ruby Field, and then we'll have kickoff momentarily between the Owls and the Cadets. Interestingly enough, haven't played since 2004, according to some stuff I found online. And Max Preps, Frederick won that game 20-14. It's a long time coming between these two teams playing each other, but it played in the old days of the CMC. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the anthem, then we'll come right back for some more pregame. Coach Frederick, 10-1 last year, 9-0 regular season, best team in Frederick County. Lost to Oakdale in the playoffs, but a great season for the Cadets. Westminster 10-2 last year, state quarterfinalists. 2 really good programs from last year, looking to continue pick up where they left off in 2022.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them face off in the playoffs either. So this could be a precursor to that.
Yeah, we said the same thing last week when Westminster and Franklin played.
Absolutely,
it's a really loaded schedule for both sides. Take a look at you see last week's results there. The yards obviously were all Westminster, and the takeaways, as you and I saw, from Westminster's side, that is anyway, just really the difference in the game in the second half. Frederick didn't put up as many yards per se in their matchup against Middletown, but they got the job done 29-12, and they also had 3 takeaways last week against the Knights. So again, you mentioned it already, just their speed can really do wonders for what they want to do on offense and defense.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do on special teams, what Westminster does on their kickoff here.
Right.
We talked about that quite a bit against Franklin. And,
we did.
We'll see if they learned anything from what they did against Franklin here.
Kicking off for the Owls, number 16, Joshua Wagner. He's a senior. Again, It was the squib kick, the pooch, whatever you want to call it, that we didn't see a lot of that we thought we would see as the game went on. And,
Correct.
that gave Franklin really, really good field position. We'll see how they approach it this one. And Wagner swings his foot. Oh, yeah, he did try the squib right off the bat. So that's the risk reward there, right? We're going to try the squib, and it's going to wind up being good field position for Frederick.
Yeah, you want to get that squib kick right past that first long level and get into that second and third level and see what happens. But they weren't able to do that on this scene, so Frederick has good field position.
They do. They'll start at the 46-yard line. Westminster's defensive starters were up there for you for a second there. We're going to see some of the same guys we saw last week. You'll see Casey Heisig in the middle. He had a big game last week against Franklin. So 1st and 10 here. The first play is a handoff up the middle. See 60 Jalen Jones in on the tackle there for Westminster. Give that handoff to Tay Anderson. He's one of the guys I put down as a player to watch, coming off a 1,000-yard campaign last year. Quarterback will be number 12, Grayson Rollman, senior. So they have a couple guys that saw time last year. Rollman is a little bit newer in there, but Davian Pryor, their receiver, had a really good season. Caught 5 balls for 61 yards and a touchdown last week.
Yeah, Frederick's MO last year was to be a passing team. It'd be interesting to see what their concepts are this year. That's a
2
nice
runs
hole.
so far, and that was a nice hole for Anderson, 21. And he's out past the 45-yard line, down to the 44. That's moved the chains. Yeah, I thought that would be enough for a first down. So 2 runs and a pickup of a first down for Frederick. 453 points for last year, Coach. Only 60 points against in 2023. That's a really, really good season.
I'm going to tell you, they had a defensive lineman that was just a stud. And he wasn't very big. He was just quick. He played on both the BTC and the Maryland Big 33.
So you saw him then.
Oh, yeah. He was an excellent player. He was their stud last year.
1st and 10 from the 44 in Owls territory. Rollman, first pass attempt. Ooh, incomplete, little high, down along the far sideline. We mentioned some of the players to watch, Coach, and obviously we know Kyrese Walker from the quarterback position, but there's Casey Heisig, 10 tackles last week, 2 for loss, and that big interception of a tipped ball right around midfield that gave Westminster the ball back in the second half.
That was a huge play. I mean, just his awareness to see the ball get tipped and then be able to make the catch made a big difference in that game for Westminster.
Of course, Kyrese, 300 yards of offense and 5 total touchdowns. We know what he's going to do.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You know what he's going to do. So 2nd and 10 now from the 44. After that incomplete pass, stop the clock. Rollman sends one of his backs in motion out to the line. It'll be a handoff again. I believe this is Anderson. And good yardage on 2nd down.
Yeah.
I think one of our first challenges, Coach, is going to be detecting who has the ball for Frederick. With those white numbers on white jerseys aren't doing us any favors, but such is life here in early season with the sun flare still there. And I'll let your good eyes pick those
that's
guys
why you're the
up.
play-by-play guy. I'm just here to commentate.
I might say, who was that? You'll have to give me a hand. Anyway, 3rd down now from the 39.
Trips formation.
Yep, in the near side here. So Rollman in the shotgun. That was pretty easy pitch and catch there.
Yeah.
Rollman connects with his receiver, lost his towel, but not before they pick up a Frederick first down.
You know, that's the quandary with deferring in the opening kickoff, because if they get good field position and go down and score, you know, that always puts you behind the 8 ball.
Sure. Frederick trying to make a statement on their first drive. That was Davian Pryor, number 3, with that first down catch. So 1st and 10 now, Cadets at, we'll call it the 23-yard line. Excuse me, no, the 28-yard line, my fault. Another run, this time Westminster defense up to the challenge. I saw 60 again, big 60, Jalen Jones. And number 5, Jesse O'Donnell. We mentioned their names a lot last week, Coach. Coming up big on that play.
Yeah, Jesse O'Donnell, number 5. He was a big-time player for them last week. He looked to be a big part of tonight's game.
I mean, his wingspan is really off the charts. I can see it from him just standing there at the line. He definitely a big presence. And their interior guys there, Jalen Jones and 74, Ryan Dunn. Some big bodies for Westminster up front. That's what Coach Pat Cadden was talking about when we talked last week. He was really, a point of emphasis was Westminster's size and how they could combat that with their speed. So second down now. Rollman is going to throw it. Now he's going to keep it. And Westminster's defense, Donald and Jones and company again, bottle up the quarterback. Rollman, big play for the Owls there. Not sure it was a designed run. I'm pretty sure it was a pass. And
yeah, I think he was looking for that quick slant again out here on the left-hand side, and Westminster must have had it covered up pretty well.
Sniffed it right out, yeah. Give 28 as well some love for Westminster on that defensive play. Jaden Segree. So third down now, third and long from outside the 30-yard line. Rollman drops back and incomplete. Might have been some pressure there, otherwise Westminster.
Good bend but don't break
just gonna
mentality
say,
by
yep.
Westminster.
Yep. For now, they kept the offense off the field. We'll see what Frederick wants to do here. 7:45 to go in the first quarter. I don't know, it looks like the offense might be. They're in that. I was wondering if they were in that no man's land. You could punt it to the corner maybe, or you could just try to go for it if you throw it to the end zone. But yeah, obviously they only need to get to the end zone to get a first down.
Right.
But let's see what Westminster's defense wants to do here on the first big play of this game. Rollman drops back, and he is going long. He's got a man. Incomplete. Trying to hit it to Pryor. I thought he had caught it at first, but Davian Pryor could not come over the catch. He had separation on the secondary.
He had him.
Overthrew him a tad maybe and just couldn't quite
a couple inches. Yep.
Couldn't quite get in. That was Rickwan Warfield, number 10 on the coverage. And that'll be a turnover on downs. And so now Westminster's offense takes over.
See, now that's huge momentum-wise.
Big momentum, absolutely.
They can come out and get a couple first downs, move the ball down the field here. That'll play well for them for the rest of the game.
Walker's in the shotgun, and his first play from scrimmage is a run. And we saw this last week too, Coach. That's Janan Segree, number 1. Doing a good job getting through that first wave of tackles.
He is. And, I don't remember him getting a whole lot of opportunities last year, but he is seeing the opportunities this year.
No, absolutely. They had Keandre Grooms, who has since moved over to Francis Scott Key, and they had Mikey Simons, another running back who graduated. So they had some guys, and of course we talked about Mason Fisher, who was deadly on jet sweeps and things like that. So a couple new faces on the offense to try to work in and make that transition a little easier when you have a veteran quarterback like Kyrese, and he's going to keep it here on second down and get around the edge and I think get enough for a first down. Yep. So much like Frederick did. Let's see what we got here. We might have a flag on the play. No, I guess not. They're going to sort it out here. But anyway, I was going to say 2 runs and 2 plays, 2 positive yards, just like Frederick did. And they might wave the flag off. There's their starting offense for Westminster on the screen.
They're going to give them the first down. Yep.
Dorsey and Troop and Rudders as your receivers, I should say, and then the big lineman we talked about led by Jackson Clark, but a couple sophomores, Triplett and Dunn, David Girding. So they do have some beef in a good way up front that opens those holes, like you mentioned, Coach, for Segree and Walker and company.
Yeah, and those 2 sophomores are what Chris is going to bank on the next couple of years.
Absolutely.
I'm sure. Nice play. Oh, is his knee down?
Yeah, I think So it was a good design play, a little low throw. That was Braden Troop. It's another sophomore, but he's going to lose a yard or 2 there on that play. Knee goes down, obviously, in high school, Coach, and the play stops.
Yep, as soon as the knee hits the ground, yep.
It was a nice design screen, just maybe a bit a little underthrown from Walker. So a 2-yard loss, if I heard the PA announcer, which brings up 2nd and 12 from the 40-yard line. So run there from number 10, Rickwan Warfield. Trying to get a couple of those yards back, so it'll be still a 3rd and long, but they did get back over the sticks. So Rickwan coming off. Another guy that I know is Coach Bazar and Rickwan and Rakim two guys they are looking forward to make big moves again this year after having them last year as sophomores. Third and we'll say 8, or a long 8, short 9. Got to get to the 48 on the other side of the 50. And Tyrese will drop back to pass. Coming toward the near side. And incomplete. For that one, it probably was just a let's throw that away and live to fight another day. Clayton Dorsey, number 9, was down there, but I believe that was pretty well covered by Frederick.
And that's tough to get into a young quarterback's head, at high school, is to throw the ball away if it's not there and live to play another play.
Yeah.
Right.
Early in this game, you don't want to make too many unforced errors, right?
Nope, that's what put him behind the 8 ball against Franklin.
It did.
The forced error.
Yeah, it did, for sure. So Westminster in the first punt of the game. High kick. Oh, took a shoot. Now, wait a second. Let's see. Did it hit a Frederick player? There's a flag down, too. What are we going to call here? It was a high kick, took a Frederick bounce. We'll sort it out here with the referees. Not a thing of beauty there, that punt, but
No.
I don't know if it hit a doesn't look like it hit a Frederick player first. If it hits a Frederick player, of course, it's a live ball, and Westminster can recover it.
Correct.
But doesn't appear that's the case. So let's see what happens here on the flag. So what was that? Interference on the kicking team?
I'm not really sure about
Me neither.
that.
It looked like the motion was past interference, but
Yeah.
I guess you can't really have that on a kick. Regardless, the penalty brings it up to the. So once again, the 44-yard line here.
Good field position.
Yeah, it's 2 in a row for Frederick, and we'll see what Rollman and the Cadets can do against Westminster's defense. 5:20 left in the first quarter, no score. CMSportsNet Game of the Week. Pat Stetzer and Mike Krause watching from afar here today.
And the pistol eye. Jump up to the sidecar.
They probably weren't set. There's a tip ball into the hands
He's
of
gone.
Rakim Warfield,
No,
number
maybe not.
3, and pushed out of bounds. Did he get into the end
I'm
zone?
not sure. It's going to be close. What great awareness by the corner.
It really was. Let's see what they call it. It's slow to get up as Rakim Warfield, but now there's a flag. If that was on, Coach Basler, you see, wants the touchdown. Let's see what happens here. I want to say they weren't set,
Yeah, that's what I would think.
but that doesn't
No.
preclude the play, correct? You let
No,
the play
because
run
they
on,
let the play run.
and Rakim got,
I think he might be out right at the goal line.
yeah, and took a shot there right along the sideline. Let's see what the referees are talking about here. Westminster wants that to be. What a turn of events this would be if this stands.
Huge.
Huge for the Owls. Well, Coach Basler not the happiest right now, so were they offside? Oh, maybe he's telling them the touchdown was good. Yep, okay. So it looks like Coach Pat Cadden wants to know what's going on, but they're sending the kicker out, so that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
And a big turn of events here for the Westminster Owls. Couldn't ask for a better start if you're after giving up those couple field positions like that.
No, and it wasn't a bad pass. It just tipped off the receiver's hands right in, and the awareness of the corner to get the tip ball.
And then to stay moving in the right direction down the sideline. And
Yeah.
number 3, Rakim Warfield,
Well, now
junior receiver. 35-yard interception return, maybe a little bit longer. So they're still trying to figure it out. Looks like they're still going for 1, correct?
Looks that way. Be a great start for Westminster.
Absolutely.
The touchdown for Westminster is good. That makes score Westminster-Owls 6, Frederick Cadets 0.
And now it'll be Joshua Wagner to attempt the point after. So great start if you're an Owls fan. You held them on a 4th down on the first drive. You take it away on this drive, and you go right in there and score. You don't have to worry about setting up your offense and driving down the field. You score on the first play.
Yep.
So that's a sticker on the helmet kind of play.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wagner's kick is high through the middle, and it's good.
Good deal.
So 5:09 to go in the first quarter. Westminster 7, Frederick 0, and a really good start for the Owls. And you mentioned special teams. I know that was a defensive play, but the special teams wherewithal, okay, it was a couple of short fields, and their defense didn't let it hamper them. That's a big play right there that turns into 7 points.
Absolutely, and I think, with Westminster, the way that the game last week went against Franklin, the opportunities that they gave up, and then to stay together and play well and to get off to a good start here, this is going to be this bodes well for Westminster.
Now, last week we went back and forth a little bit in the early part of the first half, and then Franklin put their foot on the gas, and it looked like it was going to be a rout. And you correctly said, let's wait a little bit on that, but that's what happened there. It was back and forth early on, and so this rest of this quarter, and then into the second quarter, obviously we'll see who can match who in terms of their possessions here.
No question. Yep. And I'll tell you, I think if Westminster gets a lead, they keep the ball in Kyrese's hands, they're going to be in trouble.
That's true, and their ground game. So it looks like there was a penalty after the touchdown. I still don't know what the flag was when the actual play started. Well, that would have been declined anyway, right? During the touchdown. This must have been after the fact. Maybe there was a flag for celebration or something like that. Or maybe somebody said, that's 15 yards.
Yeah, right.
Is it not 15?
That's 15, yeah. He's at the 25, kicking off, yep.
So again, this has the potential to be good field position for Frederick.
Yes. You don't want to go to that well too often.
Correct. Josh Wagner put the right foot into it, and he keeps it on the ground again.
See, there's that second level. You kick it to that
bottle.
second level.
Yeah. But again, it's the same place Frederick started the last 2 drives, pretty much right here. Now it's going to be important for Frederick, if you're a Frederick fan and Frederick coach, player, to respond. Correct?
Most definitely, and I think that their head coach is going to tell them, they just missed the opportunity on the pass, so stay controlled. There's a personal foul against Frederick, so that's going to back them up.
Backs them up 15, so that helps Westminster's cause. But yeah, if you're Frederick and you're Coach Cad and you're telling your guys, hey, it's early, and now we want to start, but we know we're good. We know we can get, and we know what we want to do. We did it last week against Middletown. Let's stick to the game plan, because there's obviously a lot of game left.
A lot of game.
Yeah.
They beat a good Middletown team.
They did.
So speaks highly of them.
Correct. Yeah, both these teams had really good opening week wins. Feels weird playing a little Monday Night Football, but such is the case here tonight in Westminster at Ruby Field. So let's see here, Grayson Rollman for series number 3. He already has the interception, although won't put it all on him on that play.
No.
There's a handoff to, looks like it was Anderson again. Easy to see why. Tay Anderson, 1,004 rushing yards last year and 22 touchdowns for the then junior. He's a senior now. I think I read in the Frederick paper he's closing in on the all-time touchdown record for Frederick County.
Is he really?
I think so. If not, definitely Frederick, if not Frederick County. And that's saying something. There's been a lot, as you know.
There has been a lot of good running backs out of
Frederick County. Still are.
Yes.
So that was a good gain there on first down to get some of that yardage back, or at least from where they were going to start. So second and about 5 from the 33. Frederick's going to stay in this pistol formation.
Some reason it looks like they're moving that up back late, maybe to see where Westminster aligns their linebackers.
Okay. Another run by
nice
Anderson.
Play by the inside linebacker.
I saw Casey Heisig make a tackle there, 34. We mentioned him earlier in the broadcast. You mentioned him last week, Coach, how he's taken over for the leading tackler in the county last year, which is no small feat. Andy Schneider with 100 and some plus tackles led the county. You knew enough about him, how good he was. Heisig's doing a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, you gotta know where their inside backers are at all times. Right.
So I think it's a third down here. Westminster fans trying to get behind the Owls here on the third down stop, potential third down stop. Snapped a little high, give to Anderson again, big hole here. And look out, Tay Anderson across midfield, down the near sideline. Forgive me, that's number 12, beg your pardon. No,
Good luck.
hold on, give me a second, I'll tell you who it was. We might have an injury. Oh, it was Tay Anderson, he's slow to get up. So that was Tay Anderson, yeah, so big run there on third down. And that's deep into Westminster territory, and that's, we're gonna have to make a stop here. He's gonna need a minute. But there you see the replay across midfield and just.
Good job by Warfield not giving up on the
Yeah,
play.
Warfield again, right, and I think Anderson may have fallen the ball. Let's hope it's not something too serious.
Yeah.
We saw this last week too, Coach. You know, we saw a little bit of cramping going on. This is like September football, right? It's still a little warm outside.
Oh yeah, definitely. Got to keep the fluids pumping in you,
Yep.
and no matter what, you're still going to get cramps.
Yeah, I was gonna say, coaches, they tell me, and I'm sure you would agree. You tell the guys when they're blue in the face, drink water, and they say, yeah, coach, and then they don't drink water, and then they're cramping up.
But they drink it the day of, and they got to drink it 2 days prior to.
Sure,
you know.
sure.
And they think by drinking it the day of is going to be the answer, but it's not.
Right. I think I just saw Anderson walking off the field there on his own power, so that's good news for Frederick. And that was a great run by Anderson to get the Cadets inside the 30-yard line, so all the way down to the 22. So a 25-yard plus gain there for Anderson. And that was a third down, so a huge play for Frederick. Clock running. We'll get to the 3-minute mark here.
Trips at the top,
Yep.
single back.
Rollman, the quarterback. A lot of time to throw. Over the middle. Ooh, I thought for a second it'd be another tip ball. Number 30, Savant Dorsey with his hands on that one. Just couldn't quite corral it. And boy, I thought number 7, there's a little bit of a camera trick there. Number 7 for Westminster, Cooper Whitcomb was going to get his hands on that ball, but it was a little bit behind him by the time the tip came through. But again, some dangerous tips there. You don't want.
Yeah, as a DB coach, I'd be telling them to keep their eyes aware.
Yeah, you don't want to have too many balls tipped up in the air like that. So 2nd down and 10 now. But that's good. I mean, that shows the Westminster skill. We saw their guys get beat a little bit last year on some of those long plays, and so far they're doing a good job containing the guys in the middle. What do you see in Westminster?
Look at this spread here.
I was going to say, what are you seeing out there? Westminster's or Frederick's? Oh yeah, it's going to be a timeout.
Yeah,
I think that's timeout Frederick.
went unbalanced.
So yeah, what was the look there?
Well, they looked like they shifted to a fully unbalanced formation to the top-hand side. And it doesn't look like Frederick liked what they saw, or maybe they weren't in a good formation. So
Play clock could have been running down too. See Frederick starting offense there on the screen. There's Tay Anderson, Grayson Rollman. They use a fullback, Montana Williams is number 1. Great name, by the way, Montana Williams.
really.
And their line is, they got some big boys, but I know they really pride themselves on the speed game.
Yeah, anytime I've ever faced a Frederick County team, I can tell you, or a Frederick high school team, they've always had the speed.
Yep. And they definitely had it this past year. I think they returned 3 or 4 of the same gentlemen or young men that won the state title in the 4x100 relay in the spring who played football last year, so they know how to run.
Well, and I saw them in 7-on-7 in the summertime, and they just were outclassing everybody they faced.
Quick.
Here we go again.
Yep. Yeah, so they do the same
Unbalanced,
thing.
yep. Just trying to overload one side. Nice play by 7.
Whitcomb got out to the edge and
Nice
nothing doing
job.
there, so a good job by Westminster to stretch that out. Tyrico Morgan was the ball carrier on that play, and he ran a long way to get about a yard, maybe 2. And a good job by, again, you mentioned number 7, that's Cooper Whitcomb, a junior linebacker, coming from a good long distance to make sure that didn't get around the edge and get set.
Yeah, we call that play in the alley, and he set the edge and came up quick. Good job.
So 2nd and long now from the 21. Rollman back to pass, over the middle, complete, and a touchdown for Frederick. Number 3, this time Davian Pryor hauls it in. Couldn't get it the first time. That'll be a 21-yard touchdown for Frederick. And they can score quick, and they can flash the speed on you, and they did there on that play.
Yeah, they may have seen something on the Franklin film where they saw, they have some disadvantages on the corners.
Grayson Rollman to Davian Pryor. And now the Cadets will try to tie the game. Jude Hattenberg, their kicker, left-footed kicker. And I think he split the uprights. He did.
Yep.
So with 2:40 to go, we got a tie game, and Frederick does answer Westminster's scoring drive with a scoring drive of their own.
Westminster and Frederick 7-7.
Nice job by the Cadets to respond after they kind of committed a mistake that led to the Westminster points.
Yeah. Well, I think that shows a little bit of their experience from last year. Coming off a good season, they have confidence that they have the abilities. So
Sure. Go back to that points, 4 points against last year, 453 to 60. I mean, I know South Carroll's, you guys had a couple of teams like that, maybe not that many points, but you had some defenses that did that, but 60 points in 11 games is pretty impressive.
yes, most definitely. We've had some good defenses down there. We prided ourselves on that, and I'm sure that Frederick did the same last year. I'm telling you, that young man they had, Josh Ward, I think was his name.
Okay.
He was just a tremendous athlete. He was just so quick off the line and played havoc in the backfield in most of the games that he played in.
Averaging more than 41 points a game last season, and I know it ended so abruptly. Didn't even get to the state tournament, and that's the way it goes. You lost a really good Oakdale team, who you beat in the regular season, and
Right.
Oakdale pulled the upset, went all the way to the state final, if I'm not mistaken.
They did.
So
They could get back there again this year as well.
they're pretty stacked. Here's Westminster,
Nice
and Warfield
speed
run
from
down.
outside.
Nice job by Frederick to track down Rakim Warfield. So Westminster will start right around the 20, at the 20 it looks like.
Kim Warfield returns the kickoff to the Owls 20. That'll make it 1st and 10 at the Owls 20.
So I'd like to see Westminster, manage the game a little bit here, see if they can get a couple first downs with their running game, mix in a short pass here or there for Kyrese, open up some holes for him.
They definitely need to get the running game a little more established early to sort of set that tone, I would think.
Yeah.
Walker over the middle, pass complete.
There you go.
And that's a nice way to start. Number 21, Braden Troop. 10-yard gain right there to the 30. It should move the sticks for a first down. So sophomore receiver there, Braden Troop. Again, they're trying to, by committee, almost, fill the void of Mason Fisher. Easier said than done. We talked about him a lot last week, and rightfully so. And, Clayton Dorsey's number 9. He's a returner from last year, their top receiver. He had a touchdown last week, we saw, their first touchdown of the game for Westminster, but they're still trying to kind of figure themselves out a little bit. And here's Jadon Segre with a handoff from Kyrese Walker. Only got a yard there, maybe. Coach Bowser, right after the game last week on the field, I congratulated him and he just said, we got to grow up. We still got to grow up. And I think that's evident for just a lot of their young guys. And even though they aren't all quote-unquote freshmen, some of them are inexperienced starters until now.
Correct.
So-
And I think any coach would, that has a couple sophomores in their starting lineup is going to, hope that the experience of playing a couple games early in the season will allow them the opportunity to grow.
Number 30, we mentioned the touchdown catch, Savon Dorsey, freshman. So
Wow.
Frederick has 3 or 4 on their roster. There's Walker back to pass. Nice catch. Number 9, Clayton Dorsey. Nice pitch and catch for the Owls and out past the 45-yard line.
I like that play. Get Kyrese and his feet moving, give him a little bit of an option. If the receivers aren't open, he just keeps it and goes.
And I think Dorsey will be his top target. Taking nothing away from Rudders and Troop, but number 9, Clayton Dorsey, their leading receiver coming back from a year ago, and also really good on defense too. So one of their good athletes they have on this team, and they have a lot of them.
Yeah, he has some good length too.
Ball's to 45. Walker coming this way now. Wants to throw it. Has time. Going deep. And I think that's
He got him.
intercepted, or is it incomplete? They're going to call it intercepted.
Intercepted, yep.
Intercepted by Frederick, so I think give that to number 4, Jaden Ellis. Strong safety on the roster, and looks like Frederick will start deep in their own territory, but Westminster comes up a little short in terms of moving the ball down the field, and so You can call it a glorified punt, but that's certainly not what you wanted there on first down.
Yeah, right. I would have liked to seen him. I'd like to seen Kyrie, pull it down and run with it there. He had some space initially.
Might have thrown that into double or
Yeah,
double
that's what it looked like
coverage.
to me. Yeah.
So, first mistake on Westminster's end, first turnover, and Frederick starts at around the 13-yard line. I think that's T. Anderson back in the game for Frederick, so a good sign for the Cadets. Runs into Westminster's line. See big 77 Tim Johns, a junior. So a junior, Jalen Jones, a senior. On defense, a little different than the offense. The offense has a couple guys, the sophomores, but again, still, Jusir Donald didn't see a ton of time last year. Johns came back on the line. Jones came back on the line, and then you've got, of course, Casey Heisig, 34 in the middle there. So those are your Connor Harris, I see number 11 as well, another junior. So they've got some guys that'll be here for a year and a half, or 2 years rather. Flag on the play. Looked like maybe Frederick started a little too soon.
Yep.
That'll back them up. I'm sure Kyrie's has the green light to go when he wants, but that's one maybe you would like to have back
Yeah.
just this early in the game.
Yeah. Again, I'm not a big fan favorite of trying to hit the big one early. That's just me. When I have an athlete, like an AJ or a Bernard or a Kyrie,
Sure.
I'd like to have the ball in their hands and let them run the game, manage the football game. The amount of time that you limit the ball from your opponent, it's going to increase your advantages to winning the game.
Sure. End of the quarter here, I believe. Yep, at the end of the first quarter. So we got a tie game, 7-7. One quarter is in the books. The CMSportsNet game of the week. See Westminster huddling up in between quarters like this after the takeaway. What do you expect that Coach Basler is talking to his defense right now?
Probably telling his defense to watch for the big play. Play within yourself, do your job, stay confident in your abilities. Kind of the same things that he did the first week.
Yep. A couple helmet slats for encouragement. Come back and see a couple of the first quarter highlights, and that was, like you said, Johnny on the spot, Rakim Warfield. He did a really good job to keep his hands in front of him and catch that tipped pass.
He did, and get in the end zone.
He did, yeah. Took a hard hit there, but did get in the end zone. And then here's that big run from Tay Anderson, just with a huge hole on the left side.
Yeah, that was a bad angle by the safety.
Got it all the way inside the 25-yard line, all the way down to the 20. And then this was a third down throw, or maybe it was a second down throw. Either way, a nice catch by Pryor, who had failed to get one early on that first drive, and he comes up down the middle. And again, Westminster did start to establish the passing game a little bit better there on that drive. Of course, they ended with the interception, but like you mentioned, a nice job by Dorsey to follow his quarterback and give him somewhere to throw to. So now we'll see what Frederick can do. We start the second quarter at Ruby Field.
Pro eye.
Quarterback keeps it and just throws it away, I believe.
Yeah.
Good pressure by Westminster. They sniffed that play out.
He picked up the lead back coming out of the backfield. I think that's who he was working
Yeah,
with,
looked
too.
like it was Donald again on the pursuit for Westminster, number 5. Clearly, someone they've identified already as an athletic young man. They're going to use his abilities as much as they can.
He is a senior.
He is a senior, but I know he made a name for himself last year during the basketball season.
Yeah.
Good rebounder, good, strong, young individual, and obviously Coach Bowser likes what he sees with Jossier on the line. Almost as an edge rusher, too. Second down. Rollman's going to throw it again. Over the middle, nice catch. In traffic, too. Nice catch by number 13, Miles Robinson, a sophomore. It was good. It was good coverage by the Owls, and Robinson hauled it in.
Yeah, that was just a good catch.
Right over Heisig's hands, and
Yep.
should be enough to move the sticks for the Cadets.
So that's a couple times now they've tried the slant
Yeah.
and the crossing patterns. See if that plays into their game plan for the week.
I guess technically you get an extra day to sort of get ready for it if you did anything on Saturday, but
Yeah.
there's a handoff up the middle. That might have been their fullback. It is Montana Williams, and Westminster not letting him go. They faked that play earlier and went with the quarterback instead. That was 28. Jaden Segree, who would not let Williams out of his grip. Montana Williams, 6'1", 228 listed on the roster, so
Wow.
a big boy as their fullback.
I wouldn't want to meet him head up in the hole with a head of steam.
No. Save that drill for later.
Yeah.
Rollman back to
there's another.
pass. He's found them over the middle, dropped again. Westminster fortunate there.
Yeah, they're finding some holes in that Westminster defense, coverage defense. So they're looking to exploit something that they saw in the film.
I don't know if that was a Frederick player took his eyes off the ball for a second and wanted to go upfield because he had room to run.
He did.
Over the middle, you're looking at least midfield before Westminster's going to get him down. So we should be in a 3rd and long situation now. Frederick converted one of these on the last drive.
Trips, lone receiver at the top. Westminster looking to give
Like
pressure. and
looks
they
like
got
Frederick moved. Yep.
Frederick jumped. Yep.
So 3rd and long becomes 3rd and longer. Now this is the time when you try to tell your guys as much as you can from the sideline, don't let anybody get behind you, right? On a big play.
Absolutely.
Like 3rd and behind the sticks looks like about 3rd and 13 or 14 yards.
Right. Cliche saying is you play from the top down.
Top down, okay.
Yep.
And
See
they
if
have,
Westminster looks to bring pressure again here.
they'd have to get up to about the 45 or so to get the first down.
They're playing a little bit safer here. They went to a 3 front.
Yep. Drop an extra guy back.
Yep.
And I think play clock was winding down. I think Coach Cadden had to call another
Frederick called
timeout.
timeout.
Yeah, that's 2 that I think now that Frederick has called in the first half. So hey, you can't take it with you, but if you don't like what you see, you call a timeout and figure
Yeah,
it
most
out.
definitely. Yep.
That penalty could be big. We'll see. Obviously, they've got playmakers that can make big plays, but you said play from the top down. It's more just about making sure you can't just line every guy up at the yard to gain, but you want to make sure no one gets behind you for a big
Correct.
play.
Correct.
See Coach Basser looking it over with his defense.
A lot of times we would call this a sticks coverage where we would
Okay.
actually try to entice the defense or the offense,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, to throw the ball underneath, and then we would rally to it for the tackle.
So you make it look more inviting that they can get to the
Exactly.
line to gain, and then you swoop in.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But when you play a team like Frederick or Franklin and you got
Just
the
gonna say
athletes,
that.
you gotta make the tackle.
I was just
so-
going to say that. Make sure you get, like you said, like we were both saying, keep the guys in front of you as much as you can. You can watch out for a screen here too. I mean, obviously Tay Anderson, 21, their running back, can make a
Yeah.
lot of people miss. So we'll see. 3rd and 13.
Westminster showing pressure. Here it comes.
And
Yep.
they got some pressure. Rollman's going to try to scramble out and
Nice
tripped up by
play.
Segree. Not going to be enough to get a first down. It does get some yards back, but looks like Frederick's going to bring the punting team out. So good job by Westminster's defense there on a 3rd and potentially scary play there. The pressure might have been what saved the day for the Owls.
That was a nice ankle tackle.
It sure was. I think that was 28 again. We've called his name a bunch already. Jaden Segree, senior. And Frederick appears to be punting. And they are, yep. So barring a disaster here, that's a pretty good job by Westminster to stop him there. Short punt too,
fair
right to
catch,
midfield.
nice.
Okay, so hauled in by John Manley, 23. We heard his name last week on defense. And now it'll be up to Westminster's offense to try to see if they can take a lead here as we wind our way down to 9.5 minutes left in the second quarter. CMSportsNet Game of the Week. Mike Kraus and Pat Stetzer with you as we watch from Ruby Field.
I got that vibe. It's time for Kyrie's to do something here.
You feeling a vibe?
I'm feeling it.
Okay, right from the midfield stripe. 1st and 10. Well, they tried. That was the try.
Yep. they lost the
Walker
footing.
got 2 yards here into Frederick territory, but a good job by Frederick to pursue Kyrie's because obviously they know about him pretty well. Pretty much everybody knows about him at this point.
Yeah. You have to keep him contained in the edges. You got to force him where there's a lot of traffic, and he's got to stop his feet and stutter.
Before forcing back to the middle.
Correct.
Yeah, easier said than done.
Easier said than done.
Second and long, we'll call it 2nd and 8.
Good ball.
Walker's ball complete to 18, Canton Rudders. Short yardage, but the yardage nonetheless makes it a 3rd and manageable.
3rd and 5. I think this is where I said this is a dangerous situation for your defense because you don't know what a player like Kyrie's is capable of doing. If he gets outside the pocket, and you come up and you try to, make a play, then you leave a receiver open behind you.
If I'm not mistaken, it was one of these plays where we said this last week, and Kyrie broke off a 60-yard touchdown run.
He did, yes.
In that first half. So 3rd and we'll call it 5, and Walker's hands on the ball. He comes to the near side.
Nice pass.
Nice pitch and catch. Nice job by Rudders to make that catch, and a great move all the way down to the 30-yard line. So
that's a couple catches for that.
it is. Yep, Canton Rudders, a junior receiver. We called his name a few times last week, but he's already factored into the offense a lot, and that's a 15-yard gain on 3rd down. It's a nice job by Kyrie to move the pocket out, and Rudders, same play we saw Dorsey do it a few drives ago, where he just follows you follow the quarterback and give him a chance to make a play.
Yep.
1st and 10 from the 30, so 20 yards gained already on this drive. With Dorsey in motion, Walker going to keep it himself. Sort of fooled our cameraman a little bit there, but that was Walker going up the middle.
Frederick player down.
Yeah, Frederick man down. That's 5 yards on 1st down. That's what you wanted to see the first time out, too.
Yeah, you sure do. That makes play calling inside the 30 a lot easier.
Now we'll see the Westminster offense huddle up as Frederick's injured player gets tended to. 7-7, 7:49 left in the 2nd quarter. Just a reminder that this coming Wednesday, we'll have another edition of our Game On weekly show. Game On by CMSportsNet comes out every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We take a look at everything that's going on in Carroll County High School sports, some football, some boys soccer, some girls soccer. We unveil our athlete of the week. It's been a lot of fun putting these together so far. We've had 2 in the books, and episode 3 will be out this week. Looking forward to giving that to you. CMSportsNet's Game On, Wednesday at 7.
Did you do your podcast this week?
We have not done the podcast this week. We'll get back into it. Michael Duffy's been ducking me a little bit for that. He's been too busy, but we will get back into our podcast, The Score and More. That's a shameless plug right there for the Score and More podcast.
That's okay. It's good. It's good listening.
Thank you. I mean, mostly me, not Mr. Duffy, but hey,
Yeah,
that's
well,
okay.
that's all right.
Just kidding, just kidding.
I can say that.
You
now.
can say that, that's right. He can't fire you.
Yeah, well.
You're already gone. 2nd and 5 for Westminster. That's the same play, but we're going to come this way now, and they found a spot, and Kyrie Walker does what he does best. Brought Dorsey in motion, and instead of going right first, the Owls came right to the near side and picked up a big play on 2nd down to make it 1st down.
Yep, looked like one was a jet lead, jet follow, and then the other one looks like it was just the opposite way.
Looked like Braden Troop with a nice job there with the block to give Kyrie just a little more. See Coach Matt Cahill calling the plays in from the sideline. And Westminster's offense finds a little rhythm on this drive. A couple short passes and a couple nice runs.
This is good. Keep Frederick's defense out there. Let your offense move the ball down the field, get points.
It's Harris in motion, the tight end. And Walker wants to go over the middle. He's got a man. Touchdown, Westminster. Number 9, Clayton Dorsey. They made that look very easy, Coach.
Nice ball. Clayton got inside leverage on his defender. Clayton and Kyrie's put the ball in a good position.
Nice throw, nice catch, shielded the defender. There wasn't going to be anybody that was going to intercept that pass. It's good separation by Dorsey.
Yeah.
And Westminster has a 13-7 lead. That was a nice drive. 50-yard drive results into 6 points for the Owls.
Definitely. As a head coach on the sidelines, you're feeling good about that. Get the extra point.
Wagner chips it up high, and it's good.
Yep.
7:29 to go in the 2nd quarter. Westminster 14, Frederick 7, and that was the best drive we've seen so far, obviously, for the Owls. They had the one-play score, and they've overcome that interception early, and Carroll-Walker has a touchdown pass.
This gives their offense a little confidence because
Absolutely.
the first score was on a defensive turnover, and now their offense knows that they're in the football game and they can move the ball on Frederick.
And we're going to see this touchdown again, Coach. It scored 48 points last week, so the team knows it can score points.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But just a lot of time for Carroll-Walker to throw it, and Dorsey just goes up and gets it. But yeah, you mentioned, you're right about what you just said, but I was only going to add that they know they scored 40 plus points in the second half, or almost 40 points in the second half. So
On a really good Franklin defense.
Yes. They made the adjustments. They didn't let, because we mentioned how much they dominated that game in those trenches early.
Yes.
Franklin, that is. They scored 7 points in the second half. So now there were a few crazy plays. We had the punt snap go over the punter's head. We had a tip the ball for interception, but you got to be fortunate in those situations.
Yes, you do, and you got to take advantage of them.
Yes, you do. That's right. 14-7, 7:29 to go in the second quarter. It'll be Wagner again kicking. He's going to try to put this one a little deeper this time. All the way back to about the 15 is where Frederick takes it, and a good return. But a nice tackle made by the Owls.
Nice job, yes.
And we got a little extracurricular there.
Yep.
There's a flag whisked up. 2 flags are thrown.
That'll be offsetting.
Yeah, and what you want to do is make sure you get your guys off the field.
Yep.
No more than that. Going to be amped up. Going to see some guys.
Special teams, you get guys that don't get a whole lot of playing time to get an opportunity to hit somebody, get their hands inside.
A little extra juice.
Yep.
I would think these are offsetting because both guys were going at it on the side. That'll be after the play, correct? Well, we'll find out here. I would think so. I don't think you'd re-kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I think he's asking whether they offset. So we've seen that before. Home fans don't like it, but that's probably the right thing to do there when both guys are tussling after the play. So that's after the play, so the kickoff stands, and Frederick will take over at its own 36-yard line with 7:22 to go in the second quarter. Got like a little fire sometimes with special teams, but you don't want to make it too much where you get penalties and things like that. So fist bump him quietly on the sideline after that.
I like the emotion of special teams.
Exactly. There's a handoff and a nice hole from Tay Anderson. I think he picked up a first down. Oh, no, just a little short maybe.
A little short,
yep. But he's picked up big chunks so far. He's had some big plays here in this first half. And Frederick's line, 71, Sam Enriquez, 6'2", 291 listed on the roster. So they've got some big boys up front too.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got size and speed. You're a formidable opponent.
No question.
So I think they call that second down. So second and very short. Well, I guess no, you know what? I'm sorry. He needs a couple more yards to get a first down. But still a good.
It's an opportunity they could try to send one vertical.
They could.
Nope, they didn't do it.
Yeah, I was just gonna. That sure looked like they started early. They've done that a couple times today. Was there a timeout called? Was it an illegal snap? Yeah, they're backing them up. I thought that someone on the interior line moved. So false start. Yep. I thought I had seen that earlier that it didn't get called, but it just maybe a couple guys anticipating the snap a little too quickly. So back to the 40-yard line now. So yeah, they started at the 36. So they only needed a yard there for the first down. So now it's 2nd and 6. And clock running as we approach the 6 minutes to go mark in the second quarter. That was a pass out of the flat.
Oh, you got to cover that ball up.
Yeah, let's see.
That was close.
We're going to call that a pass. It went out of bounds, but I was wondering if that would go out of bounds at the spot where it went out. It was almost a backward pass.
Almost.
Either way, it's incomplete. And it'll be 3rd and 6. Boy, I sure thought that would have looked like a backward pass. But it's not. Incomplete pass.
Yep.
Big play here for Westminster defense. They can stop them.
Pressure.
Donald trying to get in there.
Bit of a
There
stunt.
he is, chasing Rollman.
Oh.
Got the pass off, but it was incomplete. Nice pressure by the Owls. It was Donald and another teammate converging on the quarterback.
They tried a little bit of a stunt with
We have a flag.
this year.
So we have a flag. I'm wondering if they're going to call this helmet to helmet. Donald was looking to his sideline and tapping his helmet. You had two guys from Westminster sort of converge on the. Okay, they waved it off. Never mind. I'm speculating from here, but it just looked like the way he was touching his head that they had maybe thought the defender went into a helmet first. But no, nonetheless, fourth down. Nice job by Westminster to keep the Cadets offense from.
I'm all about safety, but that helmet-to-helmet targeting, that rule is just tough.
Tough to
I watched a couple games
interpret.
over the
That's
weekend.
what I'm looking
Yes,
for.
absolutely.
Yep.
A couple games over the weekend in college.
Yep. Well, they really look for it there. They really
do.
look for it there.
Yeah.
And safety should be a thing.
Oh, no
obviously.
question. But when the running back lowers his helmet and you're already going towards the waist, I mean, it's a little challenge.
That's tough.
So if you get a good snap and a good kickoff here by Frederick. Good snap.
Decent kick. This time, it's going to be number 13. Field the ball for Westminster. Bo Knight. And instead of a fair catch, he gets about 7-8 yards out of his return. Oh, excuse me, that was number 8. Hard to see the number there, my fault. That's Tyler Leppert, who I think was involved in that play on the last kick. There you see Kyrie's already up to 54 yards rushing. Or excuse me, passing, and he has the touchdown. 19 yards rushing, 54 yards passing. So already shooting up some yards for Westminster. Yeah, my apologies. That was number 8, Tyler Leppert, not number 13. Luckily, the sun has gone down now at Ruby Field. It will be a little easier to read those numbers. But 1st and 10, Westminster from the 40-yard line. Oh, that was a little bit up in the air for Clayton Dorsey.
Yep.
Ill-advised pass. And Davian Pryor, number 3, can do it on defense as well. That's a pick 6 for Frederick.
That's that speed factor. He broke on the football as soon as he saw 9 break on the out.
Pass was a little bit of a floater. I mean, obviously he was trying to get it out to the near side, but Pryor went to the ball. Dorsey did not. A nice job by Pryor. Just a really good job by Pryor.
Yeah, definitely.
42-yard interception return. So he has 2 touchdowns now today, 1 on defense and 1 on offense.
99% of the time, the ball gets picked out there. That's a pick 6. There's not too many that are going to catch him.
Sure. A, there's nobody back there to get him, and
Right.
B, you got to be quick. Here's Hattenberg. Got it. Extra point. So 5:36 left in the second quarter, and we are tied again. It's 14-14. A good job by Frederick to respond on that last drive.
I like seeing Coach Cahill get a little bit more run authority there.
Yeah.
Throw the ball outside.
And again, those rollouts, the receiver following the QB was working on that last drive. I understand you're trying to make things happen and call different plays, but
Well, that's a really tough play
That's a tough
to
throw,
defend.
right?
That's
Oh,
a
to
tough throw, yeah.
Yeah.
No question. That's one of the ones that they say, in any level, your quarterback's got to be able to throw that deep out.
that's what I mean. It always
That's
feels like it's
tough.
so far away that you have to
Yes.
throw. It always feels dangerous. If I'm watching the game, like, oh gosh, it's going to get. But you're right. I mean, if you miss that ball on defense, that's a long run for Dorsey.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I like the rollout, scheme there, because it gives the option. If that guy is within a range to jump it, then you run the ball.
We have more Game of the Week coverage for you this week. It's a Thursday night edition of Game of the Week. We're actually going to do something a little different and bring you 2 games on Thursday. Man Valley's at Liberty. Winters Mills at Francis Scott Key. Coach Kraus said he'll be here with me, so I think we're going to try to give you 2 games, some whip-around coverage, multi-game coverage that we've done before. And do it again for you for the first time as we get into some county play. And that kickoff goes out of bounds. So Westminster will benefit from the procedure penalty. Yeah, 35-yard line.
Let's see what Baz and Cahill come up with this series.
Looking forward to county football finally getting started after a couple weeks of non-county games. And there have been some good games and big wins from teams already, but it's always fun when the county teams start to play each other.
Yeah, Man Valley came off a big win this week, and Winters Mills 2-0. That's a great start for Coach Miller and his group.
FSK was going after its first win. The game got halted because of the weather on Friday. They're going to resume that on the 18th of September. Liberty fell on the road against a good Boonesboro team, as we see the penalty here. And South Carroll had a tough one on Saturday. That game got moved from Friday to Saturday against Linganore. And, there are penalties on both sides, actually. They're going to re-kick. Must have been maybe it was maybe somebody started early on Westminster. I thought I saw him say re-kick. Am I right?
It looks that way, yep.
So, yeah, offense coming back off the field, so they're going to have to re-kick it. Anyway, just a little bit. Games mean a little more. I know everybody makes the playoffs these days, but when those county games start to play, the intensity goes up a little bit. You know very well. Of course, Friday, and also before I let you go, Friday afternoon. So it's going to be on Thursday. It's been moved to Friday afternoon, Westminster and South Carroll. Because of this game, they want to give them one extra day to try to play. They're going to play in the afternoon. The Jewish holidays come up this weekend. Get the game in before sundown, and you can get the game in. So it'll be an interesting afternoon game when Westminster and South Carroll play each other on Friday at Parker Field.
Yes, it will be.
I got a feeling you'll be there.
I got a feeling I will, too.
South Carroll
Looking forward to seeing them in person.
Yeah, South Carroll trying to beat Westminster for the third year in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
That would be correct.
This kick does not go out of bounds. All the way back inside the 5. One man missed. Not a shoe tackle there. Rakim Warfield was trying to get to the near side. And a good job by Frederick to keep him from going too far. What have you seen so far, Coach Krause?
Well, I like what Westminster has done so far with protecting against their speed. I would like again to see the offense, be a little bit more managing the game. Maybe get the ball, keep the ball in Kyrese's hands a little bit, see what happens. It'll open up the passing game for him if he does.
Back him up a little bit now because of the penalties and the better kick. So 1st and 10 from just outside the 20-yard line.
Deep pistol formation.
Straight up handoff to Jadon Segre, but Frederick gets him to the outside, and he might wind up losing a yard there.
Yes, I think I mentioned to you last week, I'm not a big fan favorite of the pistol formation because you got to run 6 yards to get to the line of scrimmage before you gain anything. So.
And then I believe what I just saw was Segre kind of fired the ball back at Frederick's defense, and the referee saw it.
Yeah, see the flag, yep.
Yeah, that's going to be not the best idea.
No.
It's going to put Westminster back half the distance to the goal.
Guys will have a talk with him for sure.
Somebody may have said something to him and he didn't like it, but you got to keep a cool head, right?
Yep.
So Segre gets up. You'll see the replay here, Coach, and sort of, if we let it play, he'll sort of spin the ball right at, right
Gotta
there.
have discipline, yep.
Yeah, and of course, it's going to be seen by the official. So that's a personal foul on Westminster. That's half the distance. Second down, it'll be second down. They lost a yard on the play already, so you're 16 yards back now, or actually half the distance, not quite that many, but not a place you want to be.
No, not at all.
Deep in your own end zone, second down.
You'd like to get at least a third to a half of it back here. Put yourself in a manageable position on 3rd down.
Otherwise, you're looking ahead to a short field for Frederick.
Absolutely. Pistol formation again.
Going to hand it off again. Segre bottled up again. Oh, no, excuse me. That time it's 10, Raquan Warfield.
Fans aren't happy with the.
They're not happy with the last couple of plays.
Play.
Yeah, yep. That's what happens. So it'll be 3rd and long for Westminster. Clock ticking, 4:30 to go in the first half.
So offensively, you just don't want to make a big mistake here. Already made one on the last one. Don't want to make one here.
Walker rolls out.
Get rid of it.
Pressure, but that white, there's a flag, and that might wind up being a face mask. That was a great play by the Frederick defender, but Westminster might be fortunate enough here to get a first down on this penalty. It has to be huge for that huge turn of events after you sack the quarterback. Automatic first down in high school, Coach?
I don't believe so. I think he's going to get the yardage, but they won't get the first down unless they get past the stick.
He didn't.
It's going to be third down.
Third down.
Third down.
But it'll be third and more manageable.
Third and manageable here,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Third and short,
and
really.
short.
Yeah,
Good
so
enough.
still pretty beneficial for Westminster. Otherwise, that would have been, Kyrese was back near the goal line. Or at least back by the 5-yard line. Now shut down up to the 30 from the line of scrimmage.
Quick out to the number 2, number 9.
Yeah, Dorsey. Oh, second, Walker's going to keep it. Try to get upfield. He only needed a couple. He might have got it.
Got to give Frederick credit. They're
They
doing
are.
a good job of keeping him inside
Yes,
the box.
sir. Yes, sir. I hear the crowd telling me that might be a first down.
First down, yeah.
First down. So a little swing of momentum there after that bad penalty by Westminster, and turns out to be a bad penalty by Frederick. Sort of offset each other, and the Owls get a first down out of it. So clock moving, under 4 minutes to go. Ball is now out to the 33-yard line after Kyrese Walker's legs gave Westminster a much-needed first down.
Guys.
Oh,
They
yeah,
don't have
absolutely.
to look to go to stretch the field here.
I don't believe the Owls have called a timeout yet. Now let's see. Well, nice job by Frederick to shed that tackle.
Most definitely. A Frederick player down here.
Yeah. We got a couple flags coming in from multiple angles. Walker kept it. Nobody was open. Tried to use his legs, make a play.
He just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he may have even lost a yard, but we'll wait and see here. You're right. We'll wait and see here about the flags. All kind of things happening here. Walker goes to the far side, near side for him, then comes and tries reverse course. Good job by Frederick, shed that tackle.
Number 74 is going to get the penalty, I believe.
74 for Westminster.
Yeah.
Going to be a hold,
I think he's going to be a late hit.
Late
maybe,
hit.
or
or was there a block in
Blind
the back?
side block.
Okay,
block in the
okay.
block, yeah.
There was another flag that came in. I thought maybe there'd be a secondary penalty, but we'll find out here in a second. 3:20 to go in the second quarter.
It's Westminster.
Another personal foul.
Good eyes, Patrick.
Well, I just saw another flag come in late. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a 2-penalty situation, but a couple of blindside blocks potentially.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when he reversed his field, yep.
Okay.
That worked out for Westminster. Didn't
Yeah.
lose nothing, gain nothing.
Right. You see Coach Cadden talking to the referee about
Yeah, he's not going to be happy.
what just transpired. He's going to plead his case, but he doesn't like what he wants. Didn't hear what he wanted to hear, but nonetheless, offset penalties, and it should still be first down.
I would think. Offsetting.
Walker back to throw. He can take off and run. Instead, he's going to throw it down over the middle. And nice catch. Was he inbounds? That's a great catch made by number
absolutely.
21.
Great concentration.
That's Braden Troop, the sophomore receiver. And he's out past midfield, so big play there for the Owls. And out of bounds. Not that he needed to stop the clock, but he does stop the clock. Momentarily, anyway. Clock running again. Under 2:50 now to go. Walker rolling to the far side, going to run with it. And out of bounds this time inside the 40. Right at the 40, they're going to call him out of bounds. Referees making sure there's no extracurricular activity there on the sideline. It's already been a little chippy. Couple penalties, nothing too dirty, but just some intensity, I'll say, on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. And playing on a Monday night, I think everybody's, Frederick had to come down here twice, I think.
That's
so,
true. That is true. And they were out on the
got
field
a little
warming
bit
up.
of a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
That's true. A
about
little
that.
edge. definitely. You're right. I mean, teams around the field warming up when the lightning was detected. Now Walker this side,
like
just a
that
nice
play.
throw out here
I
to
like that
Rudders, who
play.
turns upfield. And Canton Rudders had himself a nice night.
Yes.
Down to the 25-yard line and out of bounds. So that's already his third or fourth catch of the evening, and we're only in the second quarter. Nice job by 18 Canton Rudders, junior receiver. 1st and 10 from the 25. Westminster moving the ball again. That's 2 of the last 3 drives. They've done a good job in this one so far. Not over yet.
Yeah, and they're mixing the pass
Correct.
with
Yes,
the run.
I was going
Right.
to say, mixing things up. Fake the handoff. He's got man open. It's Rudders.
Yes.
Touchdown, Westminster. He had 2 guys to pick from there, and Rudders was the open man. Frederick's defenders wondering what happened. It's a 25-yard touchdown pass from Walker to Rudders. Canton Rudders, welcome to Westminster football.
Kyrie's doing it with his arm instead of his legs tonight. That's nice.
When your game plan for most of the week is we got to contain the quarterback. Deep down, of course, you know he can throw the ball, but you got to contain the legs. And so far, he's got 2 touchdown throws of 20-plus yards. I mean, that's got to make you pull your hair out a little bit with your defensive coordinator.
Well, that's the discipline talk that you have with your secondary.
Sure.
You know, they can't leave their receivers because Kyrie's is a threat to run the ball. There's 7, 8 other players that have that responsibility. So
Wagner's PAT no good there, so a little costly potentially. I know you don't like that, Coach, but 1:58 to go. 1:58 to go. We saw one of these last week, Coach Kraus. Young man missed the extra point out. Didn't wind up biting them too much at the end, but they're high school kids. They're going to miss kicks. I know we talked about this last week.
Oh, yeah.
When they come off the sideline, you just try to keep their head up, or what do you do in that situation?
Yeah. I mean, on the sidelines, you want to try to keep them involved and keep their head up.
Because you don't want him to get into his head. He's missing kicks, right?
Correct. Inside, you're boiling. You're boiling. Because
They should be
a
gimmies,
kicker's
right?
a kicker. I mean, that's what they do.
Right,
so
right. And that
but
should,
it happens.
In your game plan, that should be gimmies, right? Those extra points should be
It
gimmies.
should be.
Field goals are different stories sometimes when you're
Correct.
backed up, but
right.
I know it drives you crazy when you see a missed extra point, but
Yes.
it's high school football, and like you said, it happens. And you don't want to have to chase points later in the game, but
No,
the way it
and
goes,
from
right?
a coaching standpoint, you end up, when do you decide to chase that point? You
Right.
know? I mean, I know against Liberty last year, we ended up missing that extra point, and it ended up changing the outcome of the game. So
right. And
nice
then
kick there.
it was a nice kick to make him go back inside the 5. Oh, he got outside of him, though.
He's gone.
Oh, is that Davian Pryor again? They did everything right. It's not Pryor. It is number 7. Is that Newton Asim, I believe, for Frederick, number 7. Westminster did everything right on that play, except maybe
Make the tackle.
make the tackle, but also their coverage. I mean, they kicked it inside the 5 there. That's what you want to do, and their coverage wasn't ready.
Yeah, sometimes you outkick your coverage. You kick it, so to the point where your coverage is either late getting down the field or they're too fast getting down the field.
Yeah, it even
And
seemed
there's
like that's
an
what you
opening,
wanted
a
to
seam, and
yeah.
bam. You got athletes like Frederick and Franklin.
Well, Asim took that 96 yards for a touchdown, outran Westminster's second level there, and now this extra point can give the Cadets the lead, and it's a botch snap. And there you go. So that one couldn't even get kicked. It was a botch snap, and no PAT was taken there. It would have been trying to run for 2 there, I guess. But so now we're still tied, 20-20. So 2 touchdowns in 12 seconds, whatever that was, 15 seconds, and now we've got ourselves some offense from all special teams, defense, and offense contributing tonight.
And there's still a good bit of time left here
Yeah.
for Westminster to get the ball back
Yeah,
here.
1:43 to go in the second quarter. You don't want to slow things down, but you want to tell your guys to play within yourself for the final 143.
Yeah, I think so. I think that Coach Basser would be very pleased with going into halftime at 20-20. He would rather be 20-14,
Sure.
but
Yeah, sure.
I think
Or
that
more.
He'll be happy at 20-20. The
Right.
way the game's gone.
All right. Two big plays there, though. A missed extra point on Westminster side and a botched snap that would turn into no conversion on Frederick's side. And we have a tie game. Otherwise, well, we'd just be tied 21-all with the extra points. But
Special teams, special teams, special teams.
Frederick had a chance there in the hectic to go for two, but Westminster's defense snuffed it out, so no points were scored there on the conversion. But we've seen a little bit of everything already so far.
Yes, we have.
2 pick sixes, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and a couple nice throws for touchdowns from one from Grayson Rollman and 2 from Kyrese Walker. So what can the Owls do to respond? Missed block assignment there is number 4 for the Owls. Isaiah Sprinkle, we saw him last week return a long kickoff for a touchdown in the second half that helped the Owls win the game. That time, just didn't get help from his blocker, his teammate.
No, there was no lane there at all.
And Frederick did a good job of shutting that down. So how much of this, Coach Krause, is let's play it safe, and how much of it is we have athletes, we're going to try to go score on this drive, knowing you get the ball to start the third quarter?
Well, I think it all depends on what they do here on first down. They get some yardage here on first down, get it out past the 25, 30-yard line, then they're thinking they have opportunities.
And I believe they have all their timeouts, like we said earlier. But here's Kyrese Walker looking to throw, and a dangerous pass.
Yeah, I don't know.
Clayton Dorsey.
He had a good bit of room there to run around.
That was 5. Carmelo Smallwood, a sophomore on the defense, defending the ball, I should say. Dorsey popped up and tapped himself on the jersey. Not sure if he was saying that was on me or what, but a dangerous throw there from Walker. But a good job defending by Frederick. Nice job pursuit by Smallwood.
Yes.
Second down, pass is caught by Dorsey, but that was for short yardage, correct?
Yeah, that was the they did that flood route to the sideline, and looks like they hit the number 1.
Well, I guess they got a couple yards out of the play, so we'll call it a 3rd and 6.
It's got to be smart here. You got to be careful with football here.
.122 to go, 3rd down. Tie score. Walker gonna keep it. And probably didn't want to throw that one. It was intercepted.
Yep.
Picked off by Carmelo Smallwood in Westminster territory. That's not what you wanted to have happen if you're Westminster.
No.
Give Frederick a short field.
That's a turnover with 1:15 to go. 14.
That's his 2nd pick of the night. Walker, that is, and give Smallwood the pick. 6'2" sophomore, free safety for Frederick. Both these teams have athletes all over the field, and that was a nice play by Smallwood, who defended the last pass 2 passes ago that was incomplete to Dorsey. So here we go, 1st and 10 now for Frederick.
First down run.
I was going to say, good first down run. It looks like Anderson. I don't know if they have a timeout. So we're under a minute to go. Clock's running. They're doing this like it's a 2-minute drill. Rollman going to air it out. That was too easy.
Wow.
That was too easy. Somebody got behind the defenders. And a long touchdown for Frederick, and the Cadets have roared back and to take the lead in this game with under a minute to go.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
So a couple of back-breaking plays there.
I gotta believe that Baz is seething right there right now.
Yeah.
He is not happy.
Nope. Following the interception. This extra point is good from Hattenberg, and it's only 27-20. It could have been 28-20 here after the last play, but 27-20, 44 seconds to go. Now I would think if you're Westminster, barring any really good return, you might want to play it safe and get into the half.
Yeah.
Just a little surprised at a couple of Walker's pass attempts in pressure. It's not like him to do some of those things. Look, you're trying to make a play. I can't fault him for that, but Frederick's defense made some good plays on the passes. And again, I'm not saying they were boneheaded by any stretch, but just uncharacteristic.
Well, sometimes, you can think you're throwing the ball away, but the talent that Frederick has in the secondary, they just make up the space, and they're in a position to make a play.
That's three interceptions now.
Wow.
For Walker to go with his 2 touchdown passes. Yeah, 44.6 seconds to go in the first half. Once again, containment, or a good job by Frederick to shed whatever blockers they had in front of it. Frederick's special teams is winning the game so far, Coach.
Yeah, most definitely.
So they got ball to the 20-yard line. We'll see what happens here. I would suspect they play it safe.
Take a knee.
And go into the half and talk it over.
That's what I'd be yelling about. That's what I'd be yelling. Take a knee.
Take a knee or just run it.
Run it
To the middle
Let
and hold
Kyrie's
on.
get a chance to get into the open field.
Right. I'd be stunned if they throw a pass. They will run it. Jadon Segree gets outside and a nice yardage for the Owls. And the clock is stopped. No, wait. Oh, stopped or not? Couldn't tell. Yeah, looks like they called a timeout. Yeah, that's a good run by Segree to get up to the 35-yard line. So now, I think they may have one left. I think they have 2 left, but if it's not, they definitely have one. I'm pretty sure they have 1 left. And you have another chunk play like that, at least you're in close proximity to the end zone. I'm not saying
if you get another chunk play on this play.
Right. You still got a long way to go, and you got 26 seconds to get it.
Yes.
See down the bottom of your screen there, Coach Cahill.
Let's not be naive. We see how fast Frederick can score.
Yes.
So
yes.
You certainly don't want to put yourself in a position to go 2 scores down in the last 2 minutes and a half.
Over 100 yards passing for Kyrie, but only 29 rushing yards so
That's
far
going to change
in
in
this
the
game.
second half. I guarantee you. That's going to change in the second half.
You were on it last week, and it did change. And among other things, too, in that second half, we saw Westminster overcome a 35-14 deficit. So by no means is this game over either. Only 27-20.
I can hear Coach Kane saying it now. He's the offensive line coach. He's saying, let's run the ball. I can hear him.
He's a big presence, too, Coach Kane. So
he is.
If he's saying it, they're going to hear it. So first down, 1st and 10. Pass out in the flat. Caught by Segree, but Frederick's defense pretty much all over it. And I think it's 3rd down. This official in front of us is signaling 3rd down. They're going to let the clock run out. They were going to get to the end of the half here, Coach, and that's probably the wise decision there.
It's the very wise thing to do. Yep.
You hear the horn? That's the end of the first half. A wild last few minutes there at the end of the first half. Frederick 27, Westminster 20. We have reached halftime, Coach. Your first thoughts, your initial thoughts of the first half, what we saw so far.
I thought Westminster played a decent half. I thought that I would have liked to have seen them be a little bit more conservative with their offense. Knowing that Kyrie's already had 2 picks to throw that one late in the first half. That's something I would probably be a little bit disturbed about. But, again, I think that this half's going to change. You're going to see him run the football in the second half. I really do believe that.
We're going to go over the highlights when we come back and take a little break here. We're going to see the first half highlights, talk about what we saw a little bit more, what we expect in the second half. But don't go away. The CM SportsNet Game of the Week will be right back from Ruby Field right after these messages.
Hungry? Genova's to go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's to go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's to go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's to go. Genova's to go carry-out, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg for lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's to go.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
And each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss The Score and More podcast, presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels.
As we begin the school year, 25,000 students will be returning to Carroll County Public Schools. While this is an exciting time for those of us in the school system, we do want to remind the community that our number one priority is keeping our students safe. The activity level on and around the roads increases greatly at this time. There are buses on the roads as well as students walking to and from their bus stops. In addition, traffic patterns change when buses are on the roads. Buses will be making frequent stops, and drivers must obey school bus stop laws. To protect our students, we have installed stop arm cameras on all of our buses. We need motorists to be aware and to be more patient to ensure the safety of our students. Let's keep our students safe, and let's have a great school year.
CMSportsNet Game of the Week. It's halftime here at Ruby Field. Frederick 27, Westminster 20. Mike Krause and Pat Stetzer with you here from our CMC studios. We're going to go over the first half highlights and take a look at some of the big plays that we saw in the first half. To me, I think the first half, Coach, has been about special teams and the giveaways that Westminster's had so far.
Yeah, I think the special teams is a big part of any football game, and I think, you got to protect the football. So
I mean, you said it right away. You said it early in the game, too, that it could play a factor. And we had a 95-yard kickoff return. We've had a couple pick sixes. I know it's defense, but still, we've had some big plays made that weren't offense and defense per se. But you expect a little bit different second half out of Westminster in terms of their game plan.
I do. If I'm on that sidelines, I think I'm going to try to control the game a little bit more with our running game. I think that it's proven that we can move the football on the ground against them. We've had some trouble in the air. We've been able to mix it in, but I think that Westminster's going to run Kyrie's a little more in the second half.
And also, like you mentioned, you want your playmakers to have their hands on the ball, and they have a little bit in the first half. Credit Frederick for neutralizing some of that running game so far from Westminster, and they've done a good job.
Yeah, their game plan defensively has been very solid in the run game in controlling Kyrie. So, yep.
We haven't seen a super flash of speed, but we've certainly seen some speed from Frederick. But Westminster's done a pretty good job maintaining. Of course, there were a couple of the big chunk plays, but there haven't been long 60-yard runs over and over and over again.
Correct. I'm a little bit upset at the fact that their receivers are getting behind their secondary. So I don't know if that's a change in their coverage or not. Typically, they're more of a palms coverage, cover 2 type scenario. But they have gotten behind their secondary, so there's allowed Frederick to have some big plays.
I think we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of those big plays from the first half between Frederick and Westminster in our CMSportsNet game of the week. We're getting ready for the second half to kick off, and this was that first big tip play, Coach, and Raquan Warfield, Johnny on the spot, or Rakeem Warfield with Johnny on the spot for the Owls.
That's great concentration on his part to see the tip ball and pick it out in midair.
Tay Anderson going to get a handoff here and come around to our side and really show that speed I was talking about a minute ago.
Yeah, I think the safety took a bad angle there and allowed him to get to the edge.
And this was a touchdown pass over the middle from Rollman.
That's just a good pass play.
Yeah. Yep, that was Rollman to Davion Pryor. And then Westminster started to move the ball a little bit here. A good balance of run and pass, and a good job from number 18, Rudders, and number 9, Clayton Dorsey, to mix up some good pass plays there. Again, the ground was a great catch by Frederick over the middle there, and a nice pass by Rollman in coverage, too. We saw Westminster defense do a pretty good job bottling up some of those runs. And then Rollman got tripped up here. You like the way that the shoestring tackle was made there by Westminster. And drive or two later, you had a nice, here was those passes we were talking about. Canton Rudders getting involved a lot, following his QB, letting him make a play. And then Kyrie's used his feet here, like we've seen him do so much. You expect to see more of that in the second half.
I expect to see a lot more of that in the second half. Yep.
And a nice throw here to Dorsey over the middle, where no one was going to intercept that pass. But this one, I think Kyrie's wants back.
Yeah, he just laid that one up there a little bit too softly to his receiver, and it's a great break on the ball.
And that was Pryor, who scored one on offense and defense for the Cadets. That made it 14-14.
This is the one I'm sure.
Yeah, that was actually a nice catch made by Segree. And this is where they started moving the ball a little bit. Rudders upfield, making a couple nice plays. And I think we're going to see Rudders here with the touchdown catch from Kyrie's, and that made it 20-14. The extra point was missed. Now this might be the one you're talking about, Coach. I think Kyrie's wanted to make a play here and try to make something happen. And a really good job by the Frederick defender, Carmelo Smallwood, to make that pick. There was a touchdown pass late in that game, and then there was also the kickoff return, 96 yards by Asim. It's 27-20. I just think, like you said, we're going to probably see a little bit different game plan in terms of Westminster wanting to put the ball on the ground more.
Yeah, I don't think that their defense has played very badly. I think inconsistently a little bit in their coverage, but for the most part, their run game, they've stopped the run game from Frederick, which is a big part of their game plan. So, but I do think Westminster's going to come out and they're going to run the football a little bit more in the second half.
We recently unveiled our first CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week. We'll have another one in the coming days, but we wanted to show you our first one that we unveiled recently for the fall 2023 sports season. Let's take a look. Kyrie, you've had a little time to let Friday's game, big win over Franklin, sink in. What was that win like for you guys? What was it like for you personally to come from behind like you did in the second half and get that big victory in the first game?
As a team, not just me, but as a team, it made us come together collectively and realize like what we are and who we are, and it sent out a message to everybody, knowing that, like Deion said, we coming.
How about you personally? 200 yards, over 200 yards rushing, over 100 yards passing, 5 total touchdowns. I know you like to give your teammates as much of a chance to make things happen, but your ability to use your legs and your arm, how important is that to you, and how much have you worked on that to become a better player?
I mean, all my dad would tell me is just work, and then that's what got me here. And it's not just me, it's my team. Without the blocking, without my receivers blocking, my O-line blocking, made some big catches down the stretch too. So it's not just me, it's everybody.
You've talked to me before about the mindset, hey, we've lost in the last 2 years in the quarterfinals. We don't want that to happen again this year. We want to go further. Week one's out of the way and a big victory, but what's it take to go forward now to keep getting wins and to keep doing what you guys think you can do to be an undefeated team maybe at the end of the season and go in as a #1 seed and make a run?
Yeah, so last year, I'm saying getting better at everything we can. So last year we lost to South Carroll because we came out that big one against Dundalk, and we just can't keep looking back at last week. We got to focus on this week. And now, like I said, every game, not not before and not the future, but now.
How much fun has this been? Last year too, but even the beginning of this year, training camp begins. You have expectations. You get out there and get that first win in front of a big crowd, come from behind. What's it like playing football for Westminster?
It's great. People think it's like a small school, but the community comes together and watches us, and it just feels like a big family. So yeah, and if you didn't support us now, don't come now. Don't hop on the bandwagon train now, for real.
It's rolling, right?
Yeah, it's rolling.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kyrie. Yep. Congrats to Kyrie Walker, this our first athlete of the week of the fall season. He doesn't want anybody getting on the bandwagon now. It's all full. He wants Westminster to roll. But speaking of this week's games, let's go ahead and take a look at the week two schedule. Last week's games. We're still in last week's games right now, and you'll see some of the scores from week 2. Coach, you mentioned Man Valley, a big win. That was last Thursday. It feels like a long time ago. Winters Mill goes to 2-0 with a convincing win over Seed School. Century fell short. They actually played their game Friday night at home after a long rain delay. Liberty fell on the road to Boonesboro, South Carroll, we know. Key and North County got suspended. It was 6-6 in the second quarter. They're going to resume that game on September 18th. And then, of course, our game here tonight, Frederick at Westminster has the Cadets up 27-20 at the half. And looking ahead to week 3, which is only 4 days from now because we have most of our games on the Thursday, and some interesting matchups and finally some county games to look at. Man Valley and Liberty and Winters Mill and Key on Thursday, and then the big one, of course, the rivalry game, the one you've been involved with a long time, Westminster at South Carroll on Friday at 3 o'clock. Century you see also on the road on Thursday at Smithsburg. There's something always special about that game. It used to be week 10 when I was growing up, and it was week 9 for a while. I know you probably don't like the fact that it's week 4, but what makes that game so special?
Well, I think what's important about it is it's one of the longest Carroll County rivalries that's out there. And I remember Coach Brown used to talk about it. It was always week 10. Coach Brown, Coach Parker, it was always week 10.
It was the game.
It was the game, absolutely.
Carroll County, yeah.
And when they made some changes in the schedule, it did lose some of its little bit of luster. But it's still 2 programs that really, they want to get after it. So.
You want to play that game in week 10 because that's kind of how we grew up with high school and college football. One year was week 1, and it was still just as intense as it was.
Oh, yeah, I was
in
there.
Week 10.
Yeah,
I was there too. But Century and Liberty have a nice rivalry. Key and Winters Mill played in that last game of the season. When I was growing up, it was South Carroll and Liberty in that game of the rivalry. Westminster and South Carroll is by far the rivalry in high school football.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that Westminster, they have a little bit of a bone to play. Like Kyrie said, they lost last year and they lost the year before that. So they're going to be ready, even after a short week. They're going to be ready to come out and play on Friday.
We'll have that game for you. We're going to stream it live, and we'll have the highlights from it afterward from Parker Field. But not a game of the week per se, but we will have some coverage of it Friday night. And like I said, Coach Krauts and I will be back on Thursday to do a multi-game, red zone, whatever you want to call it, whip-around coverage of our county openers. We'll have some fun and watch Man Valley, Liberty, and FSK and Winters Mill. Second half, Coach, before we get started here in the second half, what are you looking forward to? If you're Frederick, you've had a really good last few minutes of this game after you were down 20-14. You want to keep that foot on the pedal and keep going with the same tempo, same momentum?
Yeah, I don't think Frederick wants to change much of anything the way the first half is going other than to get some more of their running game going. But I think that Westminster, who's going to get the ball here first, is going to look to try to get the ball down the field and manage the football game a little bit. So.
And 2 full quarters ago, you want to limit your mistakes. You always want to, but whoever's going to make the least amount of mistakes in this half is going to obviously have the advantage. You still want your playmakers to try to make plays, though, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no question. You don't want to downplay that at all.
Right.
And as I said last week at the end of the post game, that second half comeback by Westminster, that's going to propel them. They're going to be ready to play this second half.
They have it in their minds right now.
Yeah,
they're down 7. They were down 21 last week to a good Franklin team, and they were able to prevail. Frederick 27, Westminster 20. The Owls are back onto the field, and they're going to be waiting for Frederick to do the same, and then kick off here. Oh, were they on the wrong side? They might have been on the wrong side of the field. We're going to start it up there, but we're going to have the second half for you here in Game of the Week. I expect a pretty good second half. How about you, Coach?
Oh, absolutely. I think that the kickoff return here is a big start. They could, they haven't covered very well. They haven't blocked very well on the last 2, so hopefully they've made some adjustments there leading into this first opening kickoff of the second half here. Ideally, you like to get the ball beyond the 30, 35-yard line. inside the 20 is not good field position. So,
And that's been their bugaboo these last couple drives was Frederick doing a good job tracking the ball, and Westminster not really picking up the blocks.
speed down the field.
Yes, sir. All right. Pat Stetzer and Mike Kraus with you here, settling in here for what we expect to be a pretty good second half. 24 minutes left to go here. We'll see who wants this more in the second half. Frederick has the 7-point lead. And Hattenberg will kick it from the 40. End over end, good kick. Back inside the 5. A little bit better, but not quite what they might have wanted. But that's a good job just good containment, I think, so far for Frederick special teams.
And they're not picking that guy up on the edge. I would have rather seen him go straight up the field instead of trying to come up to the middle to the cross.
That's their design return plan, I know, but you're right. They maybe change things up. That was Isaiah Sprinkle again, who we saw again take one to the house last week when they needed it in the second half. So here we go, 1st and 10, Westminster, 24-yard line.
Little double gun action here.
Coach Kraus expects to see more running attack. And we get one on the first play, and it's Jadon Segree with a nice run on first down.
I'm assured that Coach Kane said at halftime, we can run the ball.
Did you text Coach Kane and ask him?
No, but I know him. He's played for me, so I know him.
Yeah. He's a Carroll County guy.
Yep.
So second down after a solid pickup by Segree.
75 for the Owls.
It was a 5-yard gain. Same play. Isaac lost his helmet as fullback. Segree. Play stopped before he got to the ground. Minimal gain, though. Now, does Isaac have to come off for a play like in college? I think he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably change their formation up some here.
Yep. See big Tim Johns coming in, 77, so that would indicate maybe another run here. Dorsey going to go out to the far side as a receiver. Westminster has its big guys up front. Frederick only had 3 down linemen. Yeah. See what they do here.
Oof.
Tried to come this way, and Frederick was not having it. Give credit to.
Good luck.
Yeah, just the shine on the uniform is too tough, but a good job by Frederick to stop him. And that's a 3 and out. Not what you wanted when you're Westminster start this second half.
No, that's not.
Good job by Frederick, though, to realize the run might be coming and bottle it up pretty well.
Surprised Kyrie's didn't pull out.
Didn't touch it in terms of a handoff. That was 3 runs to the running backs. And now it'll be punt formation for the Owls. And nice tackle made by Westminster to keep that from being a long return. But it is good to field position for the Cadets.
That's a big defensive stand here for Westminster. That's a big play.
That was number 7, Nassim again with the ball. And then last time he touched it, it was a 96-yard kickoff return for the Cadets.
How about the Lions head coach faking that punt last week?
Thursday night against Kansas City.
Almost jumped out of my chair. Like, wow.
You mentioned last week a little more of a riverboat gambler than you might have been in some of those places.
Most definitely.
All right, Roman, pass to the short side, near side here, complete. Nice job by Frederick, the receiver, to get away from the defender. Is that Pryor again, number 3? Yep. Davian Pryor, senior, 6'2", 182 pounds, using some size there to muscle up and get extra yards and get a first down into Owls territory.
Yeah, you got to square him up and can't let him get an angle on you.
So it'll be first and 10 from the 38-yard line of Westminster, and a big play early for the Cadets on this drive. Rollman in the shotgun. Hand off to Jasir was on the defender. As the defender, that was a handoff to Anderson, and nothing doing there. So a nice play by Donald to bottle up Anderson, which is a tall order.
It's a task.
It is a task. A 2-yard gain brings up 2nd and 8. Frederick trying to slow things down a little bit. Roman's going to keep it, and Westminster's defense on top of it.
No, go away. Step away. There you go. Nice play by 7. Good leadership.
And that was Johns in on the play for Westminster. Nice job by Timmy Johns. That's a lot of owl out there, number 77.
Yeah.
Another guy you would want to meet in the hole with the
No, not with a head of steam.
with a head of steam. He's only a junior. Well, if you're a Westminster fan, that's good news.
Yeah, it is.
So a 3rd and long for Frederick, and we'll see if Westminster can rise up one more time.
Trips to the top.
Still got Anderson to his left now. Roman, the quarterback, does.
Pressure show.
And that's going to be a false start on Frederick.
3rd long. I'll change the play call up a
It
little
might.
bit.
It's going to be 3rd and 11, maybe 12. Yeah, we'll call it 11 to 41. Again, another situation where I would think you just got to be careful if you're Westminster and not let anybody get behind you.
Yep, play from the top down. Hate to say it.
3rd and 11, the home team fans getting behind their team here, trying to let their defense make a play. Roman in the shotgun, and the snap's bad over his head.
Nice.
Falls on it way back past the 50. Jasir Donald made sure that Roman wasn't going to get up and go. And a fortunate turn of events there if you're Westminster. That's going to force a punt from Frederick, and for the moment, no harm done.
Nope.
Good job by Donald on pursuit, making sure Roman was going nowhere. They definitely have found a spot for Jasir Donald to use his athletic ability for good.
Yes.
Tall and strong and lanky, all in one. Long arms and a good motor, who we saw during the winter in basketball
Yeah,
season.
he has great length and a great arm length.
It goes a long way when you're rushing from the side. And
Yes, it
we saw
does.
him bat a pass down last week against Franklin. So here's a punt from Frederick. Takes a Cadets bounce. Not the longest of punts, but it took a good roll and go down to about the 16-yard line. That's where the Owls will take over. So we're halfway through the quarter. No points yet. A couple of drives from each side. You expect to see more Walker legs here on this drive.
That's what I would be calling. I'd be saying it in the headphones. Let's get Kyrie the ball. Let's see what he can do.
I wouldn't stray away from the passes that they were completing earlier, the rubs and the rollouts.
No,
They were working.
I like the rollout pass. That gives him an option, yes.
Yes, but I do agree with you that it's what got you here, right?
Yeah.
It's what got you all along. And let's
Drop back pass, him being a pocket passer, I'm not sure that that's his strength.
Right.
He's more of a, sprint out.
right.
Give him the option. If he sees an opening, his legs can take off.
He can do it, but he certainly is maybe more adept and better skilled at doing it
Yes.
with his legs and the short passes that can turn into long plays because he has
Correct.
athletes on offense.
Yes.
All right, break the huddle. The Owls come up, 1st and 10. All the way on the far hash, of course. They're going to trot all the way back.
They need to gain some field position here.
Get it up to midfield after
At
the
least.
first few plays would
Yep.
be ideal if you're
Tilt the
Westminster.
field here so Frederick, if they get the ball back
Right.
and not successful, they have to go along
It's
the
been a
way.
timeout here. It's been a long time break here between.
Frederick still looks confused.
The managers are out there with water, so it
Yeah.
must have been a timeout for some sort. Maybe there was an injury. Could have been an injury. We just can't see it on our cameras. So you expect to see a little bit more running from Westminster. What do you expect from Frederick?
Frederick, I don't think they need to change too much of anything, to be honest with you. They stopped them on the 3 runs last series. You know, their athleticism in the secondary, you know, has taken care of any deep threats. They have allowed some seam passes, you know, to Rudder, and also, you know, I'd just like to see I'd like to see him take control of the football game.
Well, we'll find out right here. 1st and 10 from the 16. And ask, you shall receive. But Frederick's defense all over him.
They've done a good job.
They have done a really good job. Not much room for Walker to get to, or get into, and he'll wind up losing a yard.
That's where we go back to that, what you were saying about the short passing. Get him outside the box, get him outside the edge. If it looks like it's there, he can take it. If not, he can drop it off to one of those receivers.
And it just opens up the defense a little bit,
Yes.
right? You don't have 5 guys flying to the ball because they have to pay attention to the receivers.
Right.
Whether that's a running back or a receiver, you got a running back that can catch the ball in the backfield too. So now we got a 2nd and long from back at the 15. Actually, looks like maybe even 15. 15, sorry. And Walker's going to look to throw it. He's going to keep it. Got a couple yards out of it.
That one, I think he could have thrown the ball. I think he could have got the ball out of his hands to his receivers.
So a little bit, and we'll see how this develops. A little bit of miscommunication between some of the players on offense. It looks like there's some guys. I don't know if they're asking for the ball or just wondering what's going on on a couple of the plays, but we'll see a 3rd and 8 coming up for Westminster if they can convert it.
I hate to see the body language when hands are on their hips or their heads are down. You know,
I noticed, I noticed a couple guys looking at the sideline with their hands up, palms up, wondering. That usually means to me, what are we doing? And you don't want to have that. A disjointed start to that play. Ooh, Kyrie's trying to pitch it over top of the defender. It's a dangerous pass. That's number 10, Noah Johnson, a senior. Thinks he should have had that interception. Canton Runners was the intended target, but I think Kyrie's was trying to go over the top and almost turned into another interception.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to aim that one over top, yep.
Good job by Johnson to go up with it.
Definitely.
I know he thinks he should have had it.
I think he timed it just a little bit too early. You need a good punt here. You tilt the field.
Yep. Punting from the shadow of the goal line here will be Joshua Wagner. This game feels like it's teetering a little bit here. It just depends on who can make a big play, right?
Exactly.
Midfield is where this punt is received. And Donald makes the tackle out of bounds. But not before Asim makes another big play as a return. And the Cadets set up shop well in Westminster territory.
You put a lot of pressure on your defense here. A lot of pressure.
After the punt return, Frederick will start with the Westminster 23.
First and 10. Frederick from the 24-yard line. So very short field here for the Cadets. Tay Anderson's in the backfield behind a fullback and Grayson Rollman, the quarterback. The give is to Anderson, getting behind Montana Williams. He's got a steam on the near side. He's inside the 10. And he's slow to get up, but not before he gets the ball down inside the 10-yard line, inside the 15-yard line, close to the 10. Big pickup for Tay Anderson, the talented running back for Frederick.
You know, last week we were talking about a quarterback that was young. This year, in this game, we're looking at a quarterback that's a senior that's played in some big games last year, so it'll be a big difference.
Grayson Rollman, number 12 for Frederick, the senior quarterback coach is talking about, 6'1", 190. And got a talented back behind him as Tay Anderson finds a hole and marches into the end zone. That's a touchdown for Frederick. His first of the day, but it's going to give the Cadets a 2-score lead. And now you're in catch-up mode. There you see Tay Anderson. He's walking off, so that's a good sign for Frederick. But a nice run by Anderson, scoring from about 12 yards out.
Second or third?
That's only his first.
First?
Yep. Pryor has 2. He had the interception return and the pass catch, and then, of course, the seam had the 96-yard kickoff return. So 34-20. Excuse me, 33-20. Extra point pending. Hattenberg, a left-footed kicker here, as you can see. Snap is down, the kick is good. 4:35 to go, third quarter. Frederick 34, Westminster 20. So Coach Krause, at this stage last week, the game was still a little bit in doubt. Westminster was behind. You had mentioned that they were not at the half. Now you're down 14, but you've eaten up 8 minutes or so of the quarter here. So your Coach Basler and your staff, what are you telling your guys with 4.5 plus the fourth quarter to go?
Well, I think you saw right before the shot, Baz had pulled the team together. He's probably telling them to lean on last week's, experience. They're never out of the football game. Things can happen.
Sure.
One big play puts them right back one score within one score. So, again, I don't count Westminster out.
You can't. That's what we saw last week.
It's still a lot of game in this.
I would always say, I agree with that. I would always say maybe if you're going to throw another thing in, is that you can't make any more mistakes.
No.
Mistake-free.
No. You have to, and no turnovers.
Yeah.
You can't have turnovers.
Yeah,
right?
You can't turn it over. You can't have the missed assignment on defense. And you got to play your A game the rest of the way, I would think.
And you need to do a better job on your kickoff return.
Yes.
Can't start inside the 20.
Back out to Ruby Field. Frederick 34, Westminster 20. Like Coach Krause said, 4.5 minutes left here and 12 minutes still to go in the fourth quarter. So a lot of time left on the clock if you're a football player. Westminster might have had too many guys out there. Or maybe somebody had some blood on them. I couldn't really tell. But
they need one.
Yeah, it must have had to make a change for blood or injury. All right, so we're set. Looks like Cooper Whitcomb coming back out, number 7 for the Owls on this return coverage. And Hattenberg will kick from the 40. And it went out of bounds again. They are definitely trying to angle those kicks. That's the second or third time they've done it. They've gone out of bounds twice, but
they've angled it to that sideline, their sideline,
multiple times, right?
Yes.
So it's bitten them a couple times. Now the one time we redid it because there was offsetting penalties. This time it looks like it's just going to be the procedure penalty.
Right.
So you're going to start to 35. So that's good.
I'll take that. That's a good
if
start.
you're Westminster, that's what you get here.
Again, let's not try to get it all back in one play.
Right.
If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, let's work the ball down the field.
Right.
Do the things that we do best.
So the Owls moving up the field. 4.5 to go in the third. Owls trail by 14. It's been a complete effort so far by Frederick with the special teams touchdown, 2 defensive touchdowns, a passing touchdown and now a rushing touchdown. So it definitely has been all Cadets in terms of all 3 facets of the game.
Right. Now, see, I would see the slot receiver down at the bottom here. He's got to. I'd take what they give you. There you go, like that.
And what they give him is Kyrese Walker for about 7 yards. But you're right. It looked like Clayton Dorsey had 8 yards of separation on a defender.
Yeah, one missed
turn and
tackle
throw to him.
He could be gone.
Instead, it's a positive gain on first down.
They're playing 7 in the box and 2 high shell.
So there will be an opportunity to make a throw here.
I would think so.
Because of that. See Walker and Jadon Segre looking to the sideline for Coach Cahill's play. Now they set it up second down from the 47.
Here's again.
Excuse me, the 40. 42, off by 5. I'm never good at math. Walker going to come this way. Had Segre with a good block in front of him. And now we're up close to midfield, up to about the 47 or 48. That should be enough for a first down.
Yes.
And Segre might have got rolled up on. He's limping off the field, so that's not a good news for the Owls. But it is a first down run by Walker. I like the idea, you tell me, of just being patient here. You don't have to go into a 2-minute drill. You're only down 2 scores.
No, there's plenty of time in this game.
Yeah. We're late in the third, but you got a lot of time. You can take your time and let the offense kind of find its rhythm, find its cohesion.
I still like the quick hits to the slot here. But I also like that too.
Yeah, faked out the cameraman, and I think Kyrese Walker got down on the sideline and into Cadets territory. And maybe, let's see, is there a flag here? Is there maybe not. I thought maybe I heard some hooting and hollering. I thought maybe there might have been a late hit on the sideline. Well, the fans are into it. There's no doubt about that.
No, definitely.
So that'll be about second and a long 4 from the 46 of Frederick. And there was that pass you were talking about, but number 11, Connor Harris, couldn't quite corral it. But that play, I think, is there for Westminster if they want it. What'd you see there?
I think the linebackers didn't get enough depth there, but that pass play is there.
It was a little wobbly as we see the replay. A little wobbly from Walker. I don't know if it was someone up in his way, but now it's third and manageable. But again, third and a long 4, maybe even 5, to get that first down. Got to get to about the 43, 42 of Frederick. Walker's going to keep it, and he's going to get the first down. And feet come out from under him, but it's a first down run. That was a nice play and a nice run by Kyrese Walker.
Good design, yep.
He's upset that he slipped, but that was still a really good play for about 12 yards.
Yes.
And the Owls are back in business. Good blocking, too, in front of him. He wasn't going to get too many more yards there, but I think he wanted to get inside the 30. Instead, they'll be just outside the 30. And we got a whistle and a timeout maybe here. So this is a good movement here by Westminster's offense.
Yeah, I like this series so far. Yep. Kyrese has had the ball in his hands 4 or 5 times.
He's up to, our stats have him up to 60 yards rushing. We saw the 118 passing, so that's already 40 yards difference than from the first half, where he was in the 20s in rushing yards. He has the 3 interceptions, but he does have the 2 touchdown passes. You can call all the plays you want, coach, and design as much as you want, and sometimes what it boils down to is, here's the ball, you make a play and see if I can stop you. I mean, I know we got a long way to go, but that sort of becomes a mentality. It feels like both games we've seen so far this year have come down to stuff like that.
Yeah, the cliche is you block, you tackle, and you catch, I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. And, I like the series here that Westminster is running. This is a good set for them. So hopefully we'll see more of it, and they'll get the ball in the end zone here.
Yeah, they're starting to get a little bit of momentum here on offense. Yep. And if you're Frederick, again, you've played a great game to this point. I know the defense gets tired, but it's just really about containing their run game. They haven't gone for a long pass in quite some time. Maybe I just jinxed it.
He's there.
No, nice catch made. You can't. Yeah, you can't do that. That's going to be a late hit. Unless they say that 14 didn't have to get up either and run.
Yeah, I'd be yelling there if I was Coach Cadden.
That's John Davia with the catch. Coach Cadden's going to plead their case. Let's see if they wave that off. Well, I don't think they're going to. Coach Cadden wants to talk about, well, he's going to say, hey, that guy got up and ran now, but I think the ref's going to say we blew the whistle.
Blew the whistle, right.
And so after the whistle, you can't do that.
Yep.
So a fortunate play for Westminster, unfortunate for Frederick. It was already a first down, I believe. That's going to tack on 15 more. And now Coach Pat Cadden probably wants to talk to the white hat official. You see here, yeah, the whistle had already blown. John Devia. Now you can't advance the ball. So John Devia wasn't doing the right thing either, but you're not going to get a penalty for just getting up and running with the ball.
Exactly. And he wasn't touched, so he knew that.
Right. You're down in high school when you go on the ground. I'm just saying he couldn't have gotten up and scored anyway, so what he does is immaterial. But anyway, it's first down now. Westminster inside the 10. And that was a fumble. Oh, is that a fumble recovery by Frederick?
Oh, that's a bad turnover.
Just couldn't corral the ball. Raquan Warfield, unfortunate for Westminster. They were inside the
10.
Definitely inside the red zone.
Yep.
And a costly turnover for the Owls. He just never had the ball. He never quite secured the ball. And the Cadets come up with it inside the 10.
Yeah, that's a costly turnover.
Oh, we had just said they probably can't play mistake.
Nope.
They have to play mistake-free. They can't make any mistakes.
Correct.
And that's a costly one. We'll see. That could be a costly one. Now the Cadets are in deep in their own end, but still, Westminster was on the move to score some points. Instead, it's 1st and 10 Cadets. There's a handoff to Anderson. Not much doing there. So Cadets still in control. 2 minutes left now in the third quarter.
Now, if you're Frederick here, you just want the clock to run.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why I was saying they're in control here. And if they run the quarter out, they're fine with that. Get a first down, just keep the ball. 4 turnovers for Westminster. 3 last week. 3 last week, but they had 3 takeaways to sort of nullify that. So it's a lot of turnovers already early on for Chris Batson coach team. Going up against 2 really good defenses. But still, some of these are unforced.
Yeah, that's the one thing Baz is going to say they're going to need to work on is the turnovers, definitely.
Yeah, you're going to have a tip pass here and there. You're going to have something like that happen. You're going to have a strip, but just giving the ball up or maybe floating a pass you should have floated, those are things you got to work on. We got another man down this time for Westminster. Someone slow to get up. That's 28, Jaden Segree. Hope he can get up and continue to play here. Now he's standing up, so that's good. So the piles in there are tough to get in, though. You get in sometimes, and you get rolled up on. That was we should have replayed there of the fumble. I think it was just couldn't quite tuck the ball into his chest to secure that handoff. Segree.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it was Warfield 10. See Coach Kent there with his hands behind his back. Coach Jeff Kent, been around the county a long time.
Boy, I watched Nate play the other night from Towson. He looked pretty good.
He started 2 games in a row now for the Tigers.
He has.
Former Lions standout quarterback Nathan Kent.
They lost to Monmouth, but I thought Nate played pretty well.
It's progress. You're taking some steps there. You played Maryland the first week. That's the game you want to just go down there and then get out of healthy.
Right.
But they held their own with Monmouth. I watched some of the game. They pulled away late, but Nathan did a good job as their QB. I think he's going to be their starter going forward. It's kind of fun to see a Carroll County quarterback playing D1 football.
Definitely.
As you see Segree coming off, a little frustrated that he got rolled up on. It's a tough sport, Coach.
Man, those interior linemen.
Gets tougher and tougher. They get
bigger and rolled up on yesterday.
Bigger and stronger every year.
Yep.
And we're watching high school football. These are big kids.
Big play here. It's third down, right?
I believe so. Fans sure act like it is. Third down situation here. Complete.
Where's that linebacker guy?
Completed catch there, and that might be enough to move it. Number 11 with the catch. That's Tyrico Morgan, a junior. And let's see.
Good job by him, just finding the green spot and sitting there.
They've done that a couple times tonight, Coach, and they've resulted in big plays, and he's coming off a little slow.
First down for Frederick.
First down.
So that'll move the chains like you talked about and keep the clock running. And that's what you wanted if you're Frederick.
Yeah, for sure. Double tight, 2 back.
Think you want to just keep it on the ground here?
That's what I would think.
They do. It's Anderson, and a nice job this time by Westminster. Ooh, he gets away momentarily, but they did wrap him up. Looked like Cooper Wickham, 7, was initially in on that tackle. Now I see Connor Harris, 11. In on the pile there. That might be the last play of the quarter once they sift out through the pile. And I think that will be the end of the third quarter, and it is. So only one score in that quarter, but it was a big one. Tay Anderson's 12-yard run. And Frederick leads 34-20. Coach Mike Krause, Pat Stess with you on the game of the week. 1 quarter left to play. We'll have some third quarter highlights to check. It's been Frederick so far. Westminster made the one mistake down deep going into score, and so far they haven't scored off that play, but they're controlling the game, Frederick is.
Well, it's not so much Frederick scoring, it's Westminster not scoring. Getting themselves back in a position to be in a one-score game.
After doing a pretty good job and forcing a punt.
Yeah.
Westminster did make some plays. Got an advantageous face mask there that led to that drive staying alive here. But then we see Kyrie's. They wanted to try to get some plays, almost a pick right here. A nice job there by the defender from Frederick to almost pick that off. And then this was Tay Anderson just getting around the side and setting up his touchdown run with a nice run there. And he scores from 11 yards out, right through the seam.
Yep.
And that made it 34-20 after the extra point. Westminster did get the ball and started to move the ball around a little bit. This was almost catch there made by Harris, the tight end, but Westminster stuck with it. And a nice run here from Kyrie's was what you wanted to see a lot of in the third quarter, or the second half.
I'd like to see the rest of it, the rest of the quarter, the rest of the fourth quarter.
And this was it right here. Just Warfield couldn't quite corral that handoff. Looked like it was a normal handoff and just couldn't get it. So
looked like there was a hole there too.
Yeah, they were definitely marching in to try to score some points instead. It's been Frederick's ball since, and now the Cadets have it up at the 23 or 22-yard line.
Give Frederick credit, though.
More about the 27, yeah.
Definitely have played a good football game.
They have. And I think to this point, complete.
Yes. Maryland eye.
No turnovers, if I'm not mistaken, for Frederick.
Double tight, Maryland eye, 3 backs.
The pitch back to Anderson, cuts back toward the middle, and a nice run. John Manley on the stop for Westminster, number 23, but not before Tay Anderson, picks up some yardage, and this will be Frederick's MO, right, the rest of the game. If I'm Frederick, I'm content to keep it on the ground.
Yeah, if this is in my playbook, I'm running this until they stop it.
You would think it is when you have a 1,000-yard back with 22 touchdowns from a year ago. You can ride him to a victory here. But crazier things have happened, and there's a lot of time left in this game.
Ton of time. We saw that 2 weeks ago.
We did. But obviously, if you're on the Cadets side, you want to take your time, let the play clock run down, have a couple plays ready. Yep. Right now, they're doing the right things, and they've got the big jumbo package in. There's Casey Heisig. Yeah, he feigned that pressure, and I think Frederick jumped or started early. Yep, you saw Heisig walk up to the line to sort of scare him into thinking he was going to come pressure the quarterback.
Yep, a little pressure gap.
And instead, you see him creep up to the line, and one of their linemen flinched.
Sometimes there's some nasty words being said to the center.
It's not good luck and see you next week.
No.
It's not good. See, what are you going to do for Thanksgiving?
That's not what my linebacker coach would tell him to say.
All right. I trust you. Wait, save that to the end of the game, right?
Oh, right.
Or next year. They still got big Montana Williams in there as fullback in front of Anderson and behind Rollman. 2 fullbacks in there, and there's Tay Anderson again. A nice job by Western to contain, but back to the line of scrimmage at least. Credit 58, Jackson Clark, for making a nice play there on the defensive line for Westminster. He's a senior. He's one of the anchors on the line that Coach Bassler talked about during the preseason. They'd be relying on him to be the glue on that line. Because like you said, they got some inexperience and some sophomores even too. Jalen Jones, number 60, the other guy who's definitely reliable up there for the Owls. But they're going to need to come up with some plays here in the final 10 minutes.
Double tight. Unbalanced.
Westminster's trying to call it out. I think one of their running backs started a little early. You see the quarterback telling him, calm down. Everybody calm down. Yeah, you saw his hand movements, pushing his palms down toward the ground. Relax, relax. We know what we're doing.
They're going to change their formation now. Big package is going out.
I think he wants to bring those guys out. That's 10 yards so far on this drive in penalties for starting early. So good if you're Westminster, but the clock winds now. Under 9:45 to go.
Now they're in spread trips.
Still has Tay Anderson behind him. And whistle again.
Move again, yeah.
Was it movement?
I think so.
That's what Westminster sideline thinks. So they have done it a little. They were doing a little bit of that in the first half too, and I wasn't getting called.
Yeah,
so I
you
don't
were
know
calling
if
that,
they're, I don't know if they're just looking more forward to it now as officials. But that's 15 yards then going in the wrong direction now.
I think once it happens twice in a row, now you're looking for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit more zeroed in.
The clock winds again, but Frederick going the wrong way. That's bonus for Westminster if they can take advantage of it. Still plenty of time left. So now that's spread again, Coach.
Yep. Not let a big pass play reception. Screen.
Good play call, but Westminster's right on it.
Good job.
That is a good play call by Frederick and a good job by Westminster's defense.
8:45. Let's see. When do you start using your timeouts and try to stretch the game a little bit?
That's it's a chess game, right? Figure out what time you want to do it. That was Montana Williams, the running back, who basically is a fullback on that screen, and a good job by Westminster. What's the mindset there? As soon as possible, or 5 minute
Well, you want
mark?
to try to at least keep two.
Okay.
The first one, like I saw Belichick call one yesterday with 9 minutes to go. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking maybe that's not a bad idea because they're going to run the ball. They're going to keep the ball down under 7 minutes here.
Boy, that receiver looked like he started early again. Pass over the
Nice
middle,
play.
incomplete. Nice
play.
job. Was that John Manley, 23?
Mm-hmm.
Credit to him, and that was a third down play?
That was a big play.
He had him over the middle too, Coach. He had him over the middle.
Yeah, and it stops the clock, which is to
Does
me
stop
is
the clock,
huge.
so you don't have to worry about that timeout now.
Yep.
That's a first down catch if he makes it. So I think this is a punt. I think that was third down. So they did their job there, the Owls defense, helped by the delay of games and false starts for sure.
Starts,
but
yep.
they are in punt formation. 8:07 to go.
And we need to catch the punt here, not let it bounce and change the field.
True. Frederick has a sub coming in. I think they false started again. Now Cadden thinks Westminster made him jump. He's not happy, but I think
No,
this is going to be a
he's not,
false
is
start
he?
again.
Okay.
He's on the sideline.
Definitely have to catch this punt.
4:23 for Frederick after the delay game.
So we try it again.
I'm going to go tight so they don't have any blocking set. Block.
Manley drops it, picks it back up at the 50, comes near side, makes something out of it. Not a bad job, even though the punt wasn't corralled properly, but John Manley will pick up about 10 yards on the return, make it 11. He's inside the 40. Some barking there on the sideline, but
John Manley returns Frederick's punt.
so the Owls will be in Frederick territory to start this drive, and that's what they needed with 7:37 to go in the fourth quarter.
You have 7 minutes to go. Who do you want to have the ball near his hands?
It's going to be Walker to start.
Get what you can and get out. There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
Get out of bounds.
Good first down play.
Pick up about 5 yards.
Yep.
Montana Williams in on that play as one of their linebackers. He's a two-way player. A lot of two-way players out there, probably pretty tired right now with 7.5 minutes left. But you got to suck it up at this point, right, Coach?
Absolutely. Especially it's being a Monday night game. Out of your your normal schedule.
Your normal routine. And you're going to have to play it 3 days from now too.
Yes.
So for Westminster 4, but still short week. Put it that way. That snap was low, but Kyrie's gets it, and Frederick. Wow, available to
that's something.
His wherewithal to get away from two guys. I was sure he was getting tackled there behind the line of scrimmage. See, now you notice he's learned a little bit, or at least it seems like from the first half, not to try to throw it into the coverage.
Something,
just hold on to it. Something will happen.
Looked like he had a crosser coming across.
Looked like it.
Yep.
Little gun shy sometimes after you've thrown a few of those picks.
I think so, yeah.
And you know you can get positive yards with your legs. So it's going to be 3rd and about 3. Maybe even 2. Got to get to the 30. Runners in motion. Walker going to keep it. And he may have got a yard. Let's see what they're going to call here. What are they going to call here?
No.
Oh,
no, I thought he was down.
I think Walker thought he was down too.
Yeah, I thought he was down.
And that is a fumble. Let's see if we can see. Got away from the first man. I can't tell. The ball wound up behind him. I did see that.
Another costly turnover.
Costly turnover. That's 2 of them now in the last quarter and a half. 5 turnovers for Westminster.
Not something you want to see well on your stat sheet.
No. Hand off to Anderson. Wow, good job breaking tackles.
I was going to say, you got to sell out on the run here, but you got him tackle. You got to get him on the ground.
We got an Owls player down.
Can't be 34. That would hurt them terrible.
It is 34, Casey Heisig. And things definitely get a little chippier here in this last quarter of play. Both sidelines sort of chirping at each other when there's plays on the sideline. And we got coaches looking across
right now,
the field.
The clock is Westminster's biggest foe.
Sure.
6 minutes.
The 5 turnovers haven't helped.
No.
I think Coach Bowser was actually just checking on his guy, Isaac, who's getting tended to on the sideline. But yeah, you are running out of time now, down two scores, and the other team has the ball.
I never quite understood that rule, stay inside the numbers. What difference does it make? Good Lord.
Just they didn't want too many guys on the field, I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's good to see Isaac coming off
Yes.
on his own.
Good for him, definitely.
A little bit of a limp. Just a reminder that we'll have another episode of Game On this Wednesday at 7 p.m. CMSportsNet's weekly show where we go through as much as we can of the world of Carroll County High School sports. We'll have the highlights of this game. We'll have some soccer highlights to show you, and we'll look ahead to week 3 of the Carroll County football schedule where we'll have our first county versus county games. Always exciting to see the county teams play each other. And like I said earlier, we'll be back. Coach Krause and I will be back Thursday to watch Man Valley and Liberty and Winters Mill and Francis Scott Key face off in week 3.
And Man Valley Liberty game is going to be a good one, too.
It'll be competitive.
Yep.
Liberty looking for its first win, but they've put points on the board, and Man
Yes,
Valley
they
got
have.
its first win on the road last week against North Hagerstown after facing a very, very good Perry Hall team in week 1.
Yeah.
may have gotten a little healthier, I think, now too after the first couple of weeks, so that'll be good to see too. There's a handoff to Anderson, and nice tackle made by Westminster. That was 74, big Ryan Dunn, one of their sophomores. Ball's at the 35-yard line. 6 minutes left. Westminster would greatly appreciate the first Frederick turnover of the game somewhere in the next minute or two.
Yeah.
At least I don't recall them having a turnover to this point.
Just the pick six. Tip pass.
You're right, I'm sorry. Correct. You're right. No, you're right. They did have one.
Unbalanced, yep.
You're right. Rakeem Moorfield, the very first one. So that was a funky play. It's a
What is
pass
that?
to, I think that's Montana Williams, number 1. I think he got a first down. Couldn't quite see it, but I think it was a fake handoff, and the quarterback rolled out to the near side.
Yeah, they went unbalanced. They did that shift, went unbalanced, and brought the eligible number down on the edge there, number 1.
Williams with a nice catch, and that's a big first down to keep this clock going and move the chains up closer toward midfield. 1 or 2 more of those, and it's going to be time to start calling those timeouts, I would think, from Westminster.
I almost think you got to get one here. If you stop them here on first down, you got to use one.
So you were right, it was that tip pass I forgot about earlier. Rakeem Moorfield had the interception return.
Double tight.
So he started early again, they didn't call it. Nice job by Westminster. Ooh.
Got to bring him down.
Boy, Tyler Leopard had him, and there goes Ty Anderson. I thought that was a tackle in the backfield.
Yes.
I actually thought that there should have been a false start called, but that play's been happening all night.
Flag on
Oh,
the
there
play.
is a flag, okay. Take a look at this. Great job by Westminster. They just can't wrap him up. And Anderson does what he does best. That's get to the outside. And boy, pick up 15 yards on a run. But there is a flag on the play.
Yep.
Is it coming back?
Yep. Nope.
Yes. Helmet to helmet.
Oh.
I would think that's what the hands fist together mean. Either a helmet block when he was trying to make something happen, one of the defenders that backs him up 15. So for the moment, it helps Westminster a little bit.
That's a tough call.
They're sorting it out. So Frederick's backing up a little bit.
Big penalty.
It sure was.
Starting the whistle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make sure they have the ball spotted properly. And
So the defensive coordinator has a game here. Do you bring pressure or do you play defense and play a little bit more passive?
if
it's me, I'm bringing pressure.
yes, that's what I was going to say. If you're on the sideline there, you're bringing pressure.
Yes. Make sure everybody knows their assignments. Got to cover those tight ends in the back, coming out of the backfield. And I'm bringing pressure. Filling the gaps up and hopefully making a stop.
If you're Frederick,
Smart
the
quarterback.
clock
man.
is your friend.
Yes. Yep, there you go.
There's a run and maybe, let's see. Yes.
Yeah, it looks
I think
that
that's
way.
a turnover.
Looks that way.
Well, that's what Westminster needed.
Good play.
Official right away signaled Westminster ball. And so there you go with 4:22 to go, just what the Owls needed.
Inside the 20.
Inside the 20. Got to do it twice, but
It's okay, a quick score right here.
Walker going to keep it up the middle. Now down on the left sideline. Cuts it back inside the 5. Down to about the 2. Let me call it the 1. Kyrese Walker with a huge run on first down. And that's what the Owls needed with 4 minutes to go.
Yep, spreading them out. Spend your receivers deep. Let Kyrese find a lane.
After the carry by quarterback Kyrese Walker, it'll be a first down on the 1-yard line.
Now to bring in 34 back in, the fullback.
Clock ticking, under 3:40 to go. Hand off to Jadon Segre. He's in from 1 yard out. Their signal? Ooh, there is.
Haven't seen anything yet.
I think they might have signaled it. That's a Segre 1 yard touchdown run with 3:34 to go. And the extra point can bring Westminster within a touchdown. And the snap is bobbled, and they don't get it off. So it's an 8-point deficit, 34-26. Frederick has the lead, 3.5 to go in the fourth quarter, but Westminster got points.
We did, and they still have all 3 of their timeouts, right?
Believe they do. There was that timeout earlier where we couldn't really see who called it or what.
To me, this is a big play right here. What do they do with the kickoff here?
Every play like this is important the rest of the way.
Yep.
I wouldn't think you would try to onside it if you practice that at all. I'm not sure, but
Nah, I don't
or
think
even
I would
squib
try
it.
that. I would definitely squib it. Anything can happen on a grass field with this good work.
Yeah, and you're still 8 down because the PAT was missed. And they do try it, and it didn't work.
So you just give up too good a field position there.
Yeah. I mean, I get the idea. I wonder if they had time still, like you said, with at least 2. I think all 3 of their timeouts and 3.5 minutes. And you did a good job in stopping their offense the last time.
Yeah, absolutely. And a Frederick first down here is going to put them on their side of the field, so it's going to be tough. You make the field length.
Yeah, and now you're really talking about using your timeouts on each one of these plays, right?
Definitely. You got to save yourself some time. 3:34, 3:34, yeah. Quick stop, quick timeout.
That's a run to Anderson. I guess also the other thing you could look for is a turnover. There's the timeout called from Westminster's side. That was Tay Anderson on the carry.
And that play only took 8 seconds, 9 seconds.
Yep, 3:26 to go.
Westminster uses their first time on the half. They'll have 2 remaining.
2 remaining according to the PA announcer. So yeah, they had all 3.
Baz is probably reminding them, make sure we're doing our jobs. Don't let any stupid big play happen over the top.
Right.
You know, no reverse, no, double pass, anything stupid like that. It's when everybody's trying to gain for the ball. Grab cloth, get him to the ground.
And keep him in front.
Keep him in front. Yeah.
All right. inside Westminster territory officially. There's a run again into the line. And not enough for a first down, but it will be a third and manageable, I believe, from about the 45-yard line.
He's letting the clock run.
And they stopped it now.
3rd and 2 for Frederick.
So it'll be 3rd and 2.
Yeah.
They'll have 1 remaining. 3 minutes
I
and
think
7
they called their
seconds
timeout, so 1 left. Coach, you got 3 minutes to go. You're down by 8, but you really just need to get back onto the field if you're their offense. Forget about the score.
Yeah,
just
you
gotta
need the
get back
ball.
on the field.
Yeah, you need the ball. You need a big stop right here from your defense. You need to have a decent punt return if you have the opportunity, and you got to get the ball in your offense's hands.
You have a timeout, so you don't have to worry about the clock. If you can stop them from getting the first down, you'll get it back with plenty of time left.
Correct.
If they don't go for it.
Correct.
If you're Frederick, you're near midfield. I mean, you're up by 8. If you got 2, let's say you got a yard here on 3rd and 2. Would you think about a hard count on 4th down?
I would think about it,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
If it's in your book,
definitely
and
be in the
you
repertoire,
worked
yeah.
on it. Let's get there first. 3rd and 2 here.
Westminster, is full of energy. They want to get across the ball and make the play.
It's a handoff.
He's going to
I think
get
he
it.
got it. Initially, he was going to get stopped there, I believe. 2 Owls converged,
Clock's going to continue to run.
but Davian, was that number 3, Davian Pryor on that run? Looked like it might have been. If it wasn't, it was Anderson. It's hard to see the numbers, but
Yeah, first contact was made at
it
a
was
point where they
8
could
Leopard
have.
and 3 Rakim Warfield were both there, but now that was a first down for Frederick, and now it's in their control. Owls can stop it one more time. Chris Bowser probably wants to hold on to it for a little bit here, just in case, but
Yeah, you're really trying to hope for a turnover here. Get to the exchange point and make something happen, possibly. Shoot a gap.
you definitely want to stack the box, right?
Yep.
Quarterback's going to keep it, gets
Oh,
away
you gotta
from one
make that
defender.
play. Not enough to slow him down, but you got to make that play.
Almost had him in the backfield. Cooper Whitcomb just not able to square up on him, and Rollman didn't make a huge gain, but got enough. Got positive yards. Jalen Jones with the tackle for Westminster, number 60. Clock continues to run. I think this will be a 3rd down play again. I definitely would think you'd stop it if you don't get the first down here.
Yes.
Rollman in the shotgun. Going to be a run again up the middle. Ooh. He may have gotten the first down.
And Frederick needed it. They got it.
Let's see.
First down for Frederick.
Yep, first down. So now the clock's going to run, and that might be it.
Yep.
You're right. They needed it, and some big 3rd down runs in the final 2 minutes and change to all but put this game away for Frederick.
Yes.
We'll see how the last 60 seconds play out here. Can't imagine they'll throw a pass again.
That would be a little ill-advised.
That's
Wow.
Isaac's back in the game, but Tay Anderson stays in bounds smartly.
Smart play. Yes.
Isaac, that's the story in the last few minutes right there. Isaac had great penetration, squared up, and just couldn't bring him down.
First down for Frederick.
So another first down on the back of Tay Anderson, and he is getting some much-needed rest on the sideline. He's been all over the place for Frederick tonight.
Yes, he's been a good player.
It's a good team,
carried the
Coach.
rock.
It's a
It
good
is a
coach,
very good team.
well-coached team and a lot of
Yep.
athletes. Take nothing away from Westminster. And that's going to, I think, do it. Clock's ticking down, 10 seconds to go.
They had to come down here twice and walk away with a victory. I'm sure they're feeling pretty good about
Pretty
themselves.
well done by Frederick.
Yes.
As you see the cadets celebrating, we got a final score here at Ruby Field. Frederick 34, Westminster 26. The cadets go to 2-0. The Owls fall to 1-1. CMSportsNet game of the week, bringing you another game from Ruby Field, and this time it was the visiting team that comes away with the victory. See the handshake line here. The coaches just want to make sure everybody keeps their head, stays classy.
Stay classy. Yep.
See Coach Cadden talking to his guys.
Again, I would not be surprised to see these two teams facing off again somewhere down the road. They're both 3A schools, so.
Yep. Not in the same, I don't believe they're in the same region anymore, but that doesn't mean they couldn't face each other later in the contest. So we'll get into some final thoughts in a few moments. Talk to Coach Mike Krause about what he saw here. I think what we saw was a really, really good Frederick team play a balanced attack, a balanced game. And again, I thought all three phases played well. We'll talk more about it in a few seconds. Final score again, like we see, Frederick 34, Westminster 26. CMSportsNet game of the week. And Coach, you can't win too many games committing 5 turnovers. That wasn't the only story of the game, but just too many mistakes on Westminster's side that cost them the game.
Wasn't the only story of the game, but it was the biggest story of the game. You can't have that many turnovers. You can't give your opponent 5 additional times with the football and expect to come out victorious.
Right.
So against good football teams.
Right.
You know, I would think that that's one thing that Coach Bazler is going to harp on over the next couple of days, because between last week and this week, that's a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
You know, fumbling the football is you know, that's more discipline and mental. You
Especially
know, high
down
and tight.
in the 15-yard line,
absolutely.
wherever they were. Yeah. Uncharacteristic.
You know, a bad pass, an inadvertent pass, something like that. You know,
Sure.
that's going to happen.
Yeah,
and against
sure.
a good secondary like Frederick's is.
Right.
But fumbles, yeah, they're killers.
And the early passes I thought were just a little bit maybe ill-timed, ill-advised. Wasn't as many in the second half, but the fumbles were catastrophic to Westminster's success. 2 really good games and 2 really good tests in the first 2 weeks. They did good things in this game, Westminster did, just didn't put enough together to go head-to-head against Frederick.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's a lot to take away that's on the positive side for them.
Yeah.
But I think that knowing Coach Baz, he's gonna harp on those turnovers, and he's gonna harp on that special teams play too. Another kickoff return. That's that's not what he wants.
Yeah. So. We'll talk more about it in a few minutes. We'll come back with a little more post-game analysis. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere. The CMSportsNet game of the week will be right back to wrap things up.
Hungry? Genova's to go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's to go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's to go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's to go. Genova's to go carry-out, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg. For lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's to go.
As we begin the school year, 25,000 students will be returning to Carroll County Public Schools. While this is an exciting time for those of us in the school system, we do want to remind the community that our #1 priority is keeping our students safe. The activity level on and around the roads increases greatly at this time. There are buses on the roads as well as students walking to and from their bus stops. In addition, traffic patterns change when buses are on the roads. Buses will be making frequent stops, and drivers must obey school bus stop laws. To protect our students, we have installed stop arm cameras on all of our buses. We need motorists to be aware and to be more patient to ensure the safety of our students. Let's keep our students safe, and let's have a great school year.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
Each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss the Score and More podcast presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports Podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels.
Ruby Field, week 2 is officially now in the books. Our CM Sportsnet Game of the Week broadcast, Frederick 34, Westminster 26. We had told you earlier on, Pat Stetzer and Mike Krause here with you, that the game was supposed to be Friday, got weather delayed, got eventually postponed, reset for tonight, and Frederick makes the return back. Not the longest of trips, but a trip nonetheless, and does a pretty good job in beating a good Westminster team.
Yeah, I want to give credit to Frederick for that because that's tough. You know, you come all the way down from Frederick, you're on the bus, you get to the warm-ups, and then you have to call it a game and come back with a long weekend. So give Frederick credit for that, definitely.
And made a statement, too, against a team that it was, like we had talked about, was hot coming off a huge win over Franklin. Frederick beats Middletown last week in week 1. Okay, you got your feet wet, and now they come on the road and get a really good win. So I think kudos to the Cadets. And again, we're going to see Westminster down the line. They're going to be a really good team.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to let this define their season, but just an early test. Look, they got South Carroll Friday and then Walkersville next week, so it doesn't get much easier for the Owls in the next couple weeks.
And like Coach, Bazar had indicated, he wants good quality opponents. That only gets them ready for the end of the season. Yeah. So, I think that, getting South Carroll this week and Walkersville next week will certainly keep them on their toes and keep them attentive to.
Close out with county games the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the games highlights, some of the standout plays from what we saw tonight at Ruby Field between Frederick and Westminster, a game that the Cadets won 34-26. Again, we saw some of these in the first half highlights, Coach, but I think Frederick exposed a little bit of Westminster's soft defensive spots here early on.
Yeah, I think that anybody that's watching the film of the last 2 weeks is going to say that they're going to think that they can throw against Westminster. So, that might be a little bit something that they'll need to work on a little bit. Special teams, I think, is huge. I think their kickoff coverage and their kickoff return team needs some attention to it.
Right.
You got to like some of the passes that Kyrie's did throw.
Yeah,
that was a heck
nice
of a
catch
good throw right there.
You're right. And again, we saw a couple of these in the second half where you thought they might have wanted these back. This one definitely. We saw the Smallwood kid from Frederick make a nice play. And then wrapping up, guys. Big stiff arm there from the receiver.
Got a tackle.
Pryor, yes, sir. And coming up here was a good play there by Frederick's defense to stuff the run. And Kyrie's trying to make something happen here. Floats a little pass, almost picked off there by Frederick. Again, just they were a little out of sync at the wrong times, I thought, down the stretch of the game when it was still a one-score game in the fourth quarter. And then we saw Tay Anderson really take over in stretches. He set himself up here for this 10-yard touchdown run. He had a heck of a game, Coach, I thought, for Frederick. And a lot of their guys did. Give credit to Anderson, who, like we said, had 1,000 yards last year. The Owls weren't out of it, trying to stay in it, trying to get some rhythm on offense. We saw Kyrie use his legs. You wanted to see a little more. They probably didn't see enough of that in the second half, at least in your game plan.
Yeah.
But this was a costly fumble here, unfortunately.
This was huge. Yeah. They're inside
Raekwon Warfield, going to go in and probably score there to cut into the lead. Instead, nice defensive play there, though. They didn't quit on defense. It was a good play by John Manley on defense for Westminster. And again, just hard to wrap these guys up. I mean, Tay Anderson, it makes it tough, I think, a lot of times for any team. And late in the game, when you're tired and you need to make a tackle, and it's a guy like that you're trying to get a hold of.
Yeah. Give Frederick a lot of credit, man. I mean, they were well coached, they were well prepared, they had a great defensive game plan, and they came down here and proved that they're a quality 3A
They are
Potential contender.
another job there. Whitcomb does a great job getting in the backfield, and the quarterback makes a miss and picks up a first down. They picked up key first downs down the stretch to just salt the clock away.
Yeah.
Westminster had their timeouts, and it didn't really even matter, as this was one of the last runs of the game for Frederick, and they were able to ice the game away, salt it away, and win 34-26. And you go back to the drawing board if you're Westminster, not all the way, but you take that film. What's the one or two things you learned the most from what we watched that you'll think that the coaches will pick up on and say, hey, we have to correct this for Friday because we got South Carolina?
Well, number one, I think it's turnovers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's number one. You just cannot give your opponent that many additional times with the football. I don't care how good you are or how bad you are. You just can't do it because something's going to happen. Secondly, I think their special teams need some looks. We've seen two quality programs take advantage of the game on special teams. Right. And, this week I don't think that Westminster special teams matched Frederick's special teams.
Right.
So it was a difference in the game.
Yeah, I think you're right. And we saw a little bit of that even last week when the inability to pooch kick or whatever it was. It wasn't such a factor today because they did have the one kickoff return that was the long, where they kicked it deep and actually got the good kick but didn't quite cover well. So there's growing pains there maybe on Westminster special teams. Got some guys that aren't used to playing at those positions maybe right now. They got to learn quick because the schedule is about to get not any easier, and then you get into your county schedule.
Well, I think what Chris is going to dwell on is that missed extra point as well, because when you get late in the season, missed extra points, you can't have that. Right. There'll be differences in the game.
Right.
So.
And they turned out to score late in the game, and they were down by 8. Didn't matter as it turned out, but you want to be down by 7 there instead of 8, of course, we know. So that's going to do it. We're going to wrap things up here for the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. Coach Krause, I want to thank you again for
my pleasure, friend.
Joining with me on the set. Hopefully you come back in a couple of days. You get tired of me here for a while, but I know it's we enjoy having you here. Just a reminder, too, that we're going to have a girls' soccer game for you tomorrow. We're going to stream some soccer from Century. They take on Mercy. Our next episode of Game On is set for Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We'll have that broadcast for you then, too. And then it's multiple games for Game of the Week. Like you mentioned, Coach Krause and I back here, Man Valley and Liberty, and Wintersville and FSK. And then, if you're not sick of us by then, we'll be back at South Carroll on Friday. I know Coach will be there too. We'll have the stream and the coverage of Westminster at South Carroll. For Pat Stetzer and Mike Krause, thanks very much for watching the CM Sportsnet Game of the Week, and we'll see you next time.
Great job.